Entitled black liberal crashes out on opposite stadium. Pardon.
That's going to go on the taxpayer dollar. They didn't really forgive you. They're going to assume that debt that the taxpayer had to pay for.
I'm a
So
public
none of that is
librarian.
free.
I'm a librarian.
They're
I'm a
only
librarian.
buying
I'm a
the
librarian.
business
I'm a librarian. It's
They're
the fact.
only-
I'm a librarian. I'm a librarian.
Stop it. Get some help.
I'm a librarian. I'm a librarian.
Hi. So the first thing I want to say, just kind of piggybacks off of his question, is that under President Biden, I'm a public librarian. I'm a children's librarian, and my debt was all forgiven under President Biden.
Okay.
For my undergraduate, where I went to the Howard University, and also my graduate, my master's, which I went here to the University of Washington. So I just want to say that the public debt relief, it is real. You're looking at someone who has received it, as well as over 1 million people who have. But I know that it has made an incredible difference in my life. I guess but that's just to say, shout out to that. My question though, for you, is what is your stance around abortion? Okay. Yeah, it is, because let me just preface this by saying I'm 51 years old, okay? I have 2 beautiful children. I have a 14-year-old and a 6-year-old that I had at 44. My husband and I, after we had our son, we tried for a long time to have a second baby. And when I was finally able to have another, like to get pregnant again, that child was diagnosed with holoprosencephaly, a lobar holoprosencephaly, meaning that where the fetal brain is supposed to look like a butterfly, her brain looked like a horseshoe. Okay, so I had an abortion at 17 weeks, and I know that the doctors told me if I was able to carry her to term, she would probably be stillborn or only live for a few minutes or a few days at that. I made the choice to terminate that pregnancy, and it infuriates me that there are women and girls all around this nation who are in the same position that I found myself in, or these are women or girls who have been raped, who have been molested by family members, and they are being forced because of their zip code to carry these pregnancies to term. So I want to know, how does this keep America great?
It was crazy.
If you're forcing girls and women to have pregnancies that they either do not want, cannot afford, or in my case, you are having children that are born with all kinds of abnormalities.
Damn.
Okay. Great question.
Yeah, house cats
Let me start with the first one. I do not think
cats
that
can be
long
pretty
forgiveness
wild
is
if they
fair
want to.
everybody. Because what about the people like myself, which my graduate degree I paid off? Where's my money in? A lot of these other people that worked while they were in college to pay a debt that they agreed to assume, and they don't get any benefit from
I'm a public librarian, sir.
I'm just saying.
I work for the people. Me and Kamala have only had one. We've only had one client that we've ever worked for, and that's the people.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that for all the people that have worked hard, just like you did, but paid their loan off, what do they get in return?
I was paying my loans.
No, I'm saying that they paid it off. They paid it off. What do they get in return? They got screwed.
Cool.
No,
I want to
screwed.
hear what you have to say about abortion,
I'm
though.
gonna get to that
Okay.
point. You asked me 2 questions.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get to that point.
No, I didn't ask that first
Well,
one.
you
I made a statement. Okay,
You made
my
a statement.
second one was a
I wanna
question.
rebut your statement.
Okay.
I got plenty of time.
All right.
So the first portion is that I don't think
Both
it's
my
right
cats
that
are
they just
females.
completely are going to forgive, and they say they're going to forgive. That's going to go on the taxpayer dollar. They didn't really forgive
didn't
you.
want
They're going
have
to
to
assume
deal
that
with
debt that the
the
taxpayer had to pay for.
I'm a
spraying.
public
None of that is
librarian.
free.
I'm a librarian.
I hear what you're saying, but at the end of the day,
But yeah, my old cat seemed hella bored all the time, so I got this other cat to be friends with her, and they still haven't become friends yet. It's taken longer than I thought it would. So beautiful.
It's not fair to do that. They're
I'm a
only
librarian.
buying votes by saying they're going
I'm
to
a
forgive your
librarian.
student loan.
I'm a librarian.
Ma'am, it's not an argument.
No, it's a
they're
fact.
only-
I'm a librarian.
Well, it's good for you.
Yeah, great.
Thank you for your
not
service.
just good
okay,
for me.
can we continue the conversation?
It's great. It's great for community.
Now, listen, they
Tatum.
only did that to buy
Hell
votes.
yeah.
That's all they did.
I'm a
They
librarian.
want to make sure that young people are enthusiastic about voting for them, so they go,
I'm a
we're going to forgive
librarian.
you this, we're going to forgive you that.
Mhm.
It's not good for the national debt. It's not good for the country.
The national
and
debt.
it's not fair. It's
That
not,
Trump
can I
ran
speak?
up.
Can I speak?
Okay, I'm a librarian though, but go ahead.
What is, I'm like, are you trolling me?
Yeah,
or you
I'm
like
a
really
librarian.
think that I'm a librarian is argument?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Okay.
interesting. Let me move to the abortion
Yeah.
thing.
You want X?
Abortion is essentially murder.
For murder.
Do you agree with that?
True,
No, I
true.
do not.
Or killing
What
of
kind
the
of
unborn.
scheme?
No,
You
I
agree
do
with that?
not. I don't.
Well, what is it called? What do you?
And ever since I got her, she's put on a lot of weight. I don't know if you can see how big her stomach is, but she's like a fucking beach ball right now. She can hardly move. She's a ball of fluff. I'm on X at Cloud9D253. Abortion is murder 100% the time. Yeah, people are weird. People still arguing about that abortion shit, even though the argument's pretty much been settled. What's your X handle? It's a cloud, then the number 9, then the letter D, then 253 numbers.
Doing to the baby inside of you.
It's not a baby. It's a fetus.
A fetus is a human. A fetus is a baby.
A fetus is a human.
It is a small child.
It's a fetus. It's a
You
fetus
can
is
say
not a,
whatever
it's
you
not
want to say. You have 2 children already, right?
I do.
You didn't think it was just a fetus when you wanted the children, correct? They weren't just a fetus. There was a gender reveal. There was an excitement.
There was a
pregnancy
point.
test.
There was a point in the pregnancy when they were fetuses.
Right. There's a pregnancy test that you were excited about.
Okay, cool. Thank
I'm
you.
assuming that you and your husband had both children. If
Forward
not,
and
whoever
back.
you had the children with, you were excited. From the time that conception happened to the time that those babies were birthed, you were excited and you believed that they meant something from start to finish. Am I right or am I wrong? I have 2 children. They meant something to me ever since I found out that my wife was pregnant. They meant something to me and they have value.
Okay,
Now, I
so-
do understand the argument that if your child is deformed, that's a separate argument. However, I believe that you should have the baby and take it to term because not every
That
single
is
situation.
your belief.
That's fine.
And you're
And you have a belief too.
and I do.
Okay, cool.
We disagree
But what
on
I'm
that.
saying, yeah, we can disagree on that. But what I'm saying is your beliefs then should not mandate what other people do with their body.
You know,
there is no
it's-
law
it's
in
called
America.
voting.
There is no.
It's crazy, man. Cam Higby got attacked tonight. Some crazy bitch tried to attack Cam Higby. And then the police were gonna let her go, apparently. But instead she tried to charge Cam again, and then she got arrested.
You're evil, violent people, and you're not Christian. You are Christians, man. You're evil and you're violent. You're not Christians. You're not Christians.
Oh, yeah?
You are evil, violent people, and
So
you're
Cam
not
got
Christians.
attacked.
If you are Christians, why would you mace me in the eyes? You mace me in the eyes.
She said, "Why would you get maced in the eye? Because you attacked people, dumb bitch. And I should have maced the people who would try to attack me too." Ice just came out. Oh yeah? I thought they were done streaming for the night. Are you watching Brandon Barlow's stream? They went back in. My friend Rebecca was out there streaming. Honey Badger? Is Honey Badger streaming on her YouTube channel or on her X?
And I'm like, I don't know that guy.
Wasn't he masked? Why would he be with us? We're not masked.
I don't think he was a mask. He was with this guy, and they. But
I hear something going on down, like downtown, like outside. I gotta check and see what it is. Almost sounds like chanting or something. Oh, it's music. I thought I heard look at the size of that cat. Jesus. Jesus. Rebecca, a J6 streamer, filmed can detect maybe ghost. Ah. I need to find Honey Badger's stream. I wish my fucking computer wasn't being so slow. Goddamn. Honey Badger. It's hard for me to find her channel. Because that's such a like generalized name. CKB. At Honey Badger Mom. On YouTube. Oh, I'm spelled honey wrong. Obscure crime. What's up, JW? Doing pretty good. Just trying to find this lady's YouTube channel. Is she on YouTube or is she just on... Oh, she's just on X right now? Oh, okay. I found some channel, it's called Obscure Crime, and I think there might be streaming up there right now. Obscure Crime. It says Portland ICE protest, CK Bufarachi, aka Honey Badger Mom. Oh, okay, Obscure Crime. I think this might be her channel or something. I don't know her. The Free Campus Honey Badger Mom, just like it. She just logged out. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. This YouTube channel is called Obscure Crime and has like 365,000 subscribers. And the name of the video is Portland ICE protest, CK Bufarachi. Oh, okay. Alright, so yeah, she signed out, and I guess it's Brandon Barlow's stream now. Well, I'm glad I subscribed either way. Belly Ray goes, oh yes, people told me about him too. Belly Ray. I haven't watched his channel yet. Do you watch JD? Yeah, I was just watching JD Delay. Yeah, I watched his video from the protest, and I popped up in the background a couple of times, but I didn't know who he was when I was there, so I didn't introduce myself. Otherwise, I would have. Do you know where I'm... Oh, here we go. Here's Belly Ray. Belly is a harsh, tough dude. Does a lot of good for homies. That's what's up. I gotta check his content out. I think I found the video from the night that I was there, so I'm gonna try and fast forward and maybe see if I can find myself in this one. Oh no, this is the 27th, so I gotta choose 3 days ago. Antifa, Nick Show. I'm going to try and find the kip of
Live, homie. You ain't about that.
Alright. Let me find that. Probably posted it.
Here's a lake. Here's a lake. Stop.
He wanted to steal his hat.
Back the fuck up. What is?
She wanted to steal his hat and throw it on the ground. I don't know why he let her get that close. And here's, for those who wanted the aftermath of the spray, here it is.
Yeah, that's right. Walk it off. Right. One way.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's not fun getting sprayed. I definitely should have sprayed those dumb fucks the other night.
Hey, all you guys, if you about that life, run up in the building. If you guys are about the life, run up in the building. Run up in the building. No, I'm not going nowhere. I'm right here. I'll just turn it around.
He's gonna try and you as a good boy. You're just like 424. You fucking rookie. You like bail out of everything. Not what it is.
Yeah, she looks like a real piece of shit. They got do something real for pro and crazy ever since summer left. Dude, right, you know what's crazy? The morning after George Floyd died, I was on I got on the train early in the morning, and some black guy came on the train. I was actually the only person on that train car, and some black guy came up to me, and he was like holding a knife down by his side, and he just like was like blocking my seat from getting out, and then he was like, "Would you like to make a statement?" And I was just like, "What?" And then he was like, "Would you like to make a statement?" And then I like looked down and saw the knife, and I just stared at him, and then he jumped off the train before the doors closed. So I almost got stabbed after George Floyd died by some crazy fucking black dude. Veli don't take no shit from Tifa. Yeah, I gotta meet Veli. I hope I see Veli next time I'm out there.
So what's your call with these protests out here today? Subscribe to Veli Ray on YouTube. Born and raised in Portland, Oregon. Other people like Nick come to my city and get content off my city. It's all good. We all risk our lives out here. Nice to meet you, bro. Nice to meet you too. Veli Ray. So what's my city? What do you think about these protests? I've been documenting this for 3.5 months every day, calling them domestic terrorists. And Trump finally labeled them as a domestic violent terrorist organization, like I've been, and I have the record of it. Get the fuck back. You're on too much. Yeah, my name is Lavelle Howard. You want the real name? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, how much?
It's so weird. They're trying to get people's names and
yeah,
shit.
look at your. What's wrong with?
They're so weird. I want your name. They need to tell us all the crimes on Chop Chaz. A lot went on there. Yeah, true.
You guys are mentally ill.
And after Chop Chaz happened in Seattle, they tried to do the same thing here in Portland. I don't know if y'all heard. It was in North Portland, and it was actually, I was living in North Portland at the time when they did that. There was some house that was like, I don't know, it was like some house that like they were trying to sell, or the people couldn't pay for the house or something like that. Cam got attacked. Yeah, Cam got some crazy bitch pushed him over and took his hat off his head. At least this Cam's okay. But yeah, they try to copy the Chop Chaz thing in Portland, but it was like a lot lamer and weaker. Yeah, there was a house, and it was like the Antifa house, shitty Antifa house in North Portland.
They're mentally ill. They're on drugs. Look at their pupils. Look at all my videos. They're all out here drinking at night. They're all getting drunk.
Yeah.
They're all on drugs. That's why they're gonna get hit with conspiracy charges, RICO charges, domestic.
Yeah, I'm sick of these dumb fucks out here.
Terrorist charges, and the leader is Chandler Patel. Chandler Patel. He lives in a building right over here. He's the leader.
Oh, so this is the guy from Nick's video. Okay, I see. This is the dude with all the info. This dude knows all the shit about Antifa. We had a good bit of BLM people here, but no Antifa down here. Yeah, we had a lot of BLM bullshit here, and BLM and Antifa were like working together. So after, when George Floyd happened, it was BLM and Antifa. It was fucking insane here. Luckily moved away before they did shit. They're really dangerous. Is there a reason you are not showing a real screen? Or you mean, are you talking about that? A real screen? I prefer this infinite zoom background. Yes, Chandler Patel, I dropped a video on him today. Oh, for sure, for sure. That's wild. What's wild is back in the day, they genuinely normal and cool people to hang with. Really? But got radicalized, yep. Any screen. What do you mean, any screen? Is there a reason you're not showing a real screen? For my computer? You can see my computer screen if you want.
Interviewed him 10 times. He lets everybody. The funny joke is everybody poops at Chandler's. Everybody does poop at Chandler's. That's what they do, because he lets all the Antifa members go to his house and they have sex parties. They get drunk. This is what they do. They pay them to come out. They pay homeless people to get drunk out here. So it's an organization. It really is an organization where there's plans being made. People are getting paid. People have places to go and shower and bathe. So it's an organization.
People have said Antifa is not an organization.
It is 100%. I've been saying it for the last 4 months since I've been documenting this building.
Well, they feel dangerous.
Very dangerous. Most of them are trans. They're on a lot of medication, and a lot of them are Yeah. If you look at my videos, you'll see a lot of them are men out here trying to be women, and they get very violent. You know, it's crazy how violent it gets, especially at night. It's gonna really pick up tonight. As soon as it gets dark, they feel like they can get away with the law, breaking the law. Like this is the third world country. At nighttime, I've been chased down these tracks. Like all type of shit's happen, bro. Like this shit's crazy.
Wow, you stay safe out here. Understand what you do.
You too, bro.
Tell your chat, make sure it's a track here.
Damn. Fucking craziness out there. Yeah, I definitely got to get a vehicle. Like Belly Ray's got a vehicle. Portland Andy's got a nice little scooter or something. So I got to get something like that so I can come in and out. You know what I mean? Because right now I'm using the Nike bikes, and the Nike bikes aren't gonna cut it. Cause like you have to park them like a block away or whatever. Fucking, where's the video from? Trying to find his live stream thing. Oh, there it is. 3 days ago. Pretty sure that's when I was there, was 3 days ago. So let me check this one out. He's very frozen.
Experience more.
No, I mean, that's not that far from me at all. It's like, I just bike a lot. Like, right now I live like right close to the river, so I just bike down the bike path, the river bike path over down to the other side of downtown, and that's where it's at. So I'm on this side of downtown, and it's on the other side of downtown, so it's really not that far. $650 for an electric bike from the Best Buy. You were there on the 20th. It was the 28th, I'm pretty sure. Word. But yeah, I'm thinking about getting an electric scooter or maybe an electric bike. Might have to look around, see what they got. I think I might be better with a electric scooter because it's a little less heavy or whatever.
Atmos Rewards.
I like my channel. Thank you everybody for watching.
Oops, that was not it. Portland, Oregon ICE building protest Antifa versus Valley Ray. Portland, Oregon ICE building protest Antifa. Alright, I'll try this one. Yeah, exactly. So if I get a scooter, it's gonna be a lot easier. Because I live on the second floor, so I'm probably gonna have to bring my what am I trying to say? Bring my scooter into the elevator or bike. So this is when he first arrives. So he's on an e-bike. I was wondering Do you know if Portland Andy's also on an e-bike? Because I wasn't sure if his was a scooter or if it was a bike or not. I think I'm gonna be able to see myself here at some point. This might have been before I arrived, but they were still chanting when I came here. And this is definitely the right day. And he's got a scooter. Oh, okay. 28 miles per hour would feel fast on a bike. I found Valiant subbed. I'll have to check him out. And he got a scooter and a good guy also. Yeah, I think I'm gonna look for some scooters because those are cheaper too than a bike. This video is kind of choppy.
I'm a one-man army. How come you're afraid of Mindy trying to shoot us? You're a fucking liar. You guys are suspended.
I feel like this is the part when I walked up because I feel like I saw this dude. When I first walked up, he was standing like about here.
No, you're a fucking liar. You got fucking liar. You guys made that up. You guys made that up. You guys pulled a gun on me.
You know we have literal
You guys pulled a gun on me.
right?
I never had video. You guys did that to me. That was the dumb thing.
You was like, oh, I'm gonna shoot them. Oh, they don't
You're a
even have
liar.
You're getting all mad.
You're a liar.
Big mad.
You're a liar.
Dude, you're pathetic.
You're a liar.
You can't even own that?
You lied.
You're trying to act like you hard 10 minutes ago.
Billy is a gangster. Billy is a gangster. The gangster. Billy is a gangster.
He's got a nice bike. It's an alligator.
Yeah, you know her fucking bacteria in your.
So AI's
I used to ride motorcycle when I was young. Was good times. M56 grew up 80s on mini bikes. Go-kart. Oh, that's dope. I always wanted a mini bike or something like that. But now we live in the age of where it's like hard to ride a bike like that. You got to get one of these ones, I guess. The stream's really choppy.
You drove 6 hours. You drove
I think I see myself standing in the background though, over here.
6 hours.
No, that's not me.
All the tears. Why don't you go home, cry it out?
Bro, here's the problem. Here's the problem is, here's the problem. Listen, here's the difference between me and you. You pay for pussy and I don't. That's the difference. You have to pay. That's the difference. You have to pay. You're a trip. And you pay for pussy.
Comedian because you're pretty damn funny, dude.
I am.
I know.
Then moved to 650 shadow.
I am on the shit.
500, so 59 something.
How tall are you? How tall are you?
That's dope, bro.
That high. You're 5'9" and I didn't know they stacked shit that high.
Here's the fucking wheelchair bitch with the tits out. I feel like I'm gonna be able to see myself here because he's got a wide angle on the crowd. But I think this is before I arrived, honestly. Oh, there's Nick.
Oregon. I'm born and raised here. The real fucking OG. Shut up, you little.
Jackass. I'm a fucking retired disabled veteran.
I'm a retired
I was an
disabled.
Inside Edition. Look me up.
I don't give a
Fuck it. You. What up? Yeah, I'm Big Daddy Billy Ray.
This guy's a shitbag.
Yeah, this guy's dope. What's going on, man?
The police.
Yeah, what's
love
up,
me,
Logan?
idiot.
Doing good, Logan. Just chilling, watching some, watching Valley Ray.
Catch serial killers like you. I was an Inside Edition. Look me up. Look me up.
Ain't freak shit.
Shut up, you fucking pussy. You fucking pussy. Why do you have to have 20 of these? You're 4'11". I don't talk like that. Shut up.
They want to talk shit when they gang up.
Shut up. Yeah, I support the police more than I support you terrorists. I got their back instead of yours, you terrorists, losers. You get off the fucking drugs. You're all on drugs. Look at your pupils.
I'm a fucking retired disabled veteran. You cunt.
I'm born and raised in Portland. You're a drug addict. You're a mentally ill drug addict. Yep. Hey, make sure you subscribe to Valerie on YouTube. Born and raised in Portland, Oregon, motherfucker. What you gonna do?
I'm right here.
Shut up. You guys never meet me.
Yeah, this guy's dope. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this is before I came there. Maybe I'll check out this last video he's got about it.
I started that site in 2008 when I quit my job as a lawyer to try.
Appreciate you, Logan. I'll try and get back out there again soon. Honey roasted chicken. Oh, yeah.
The communications. I wrote.
It almost seems like every day at the Portland ICE protest, it's a new crowd of people. Like, there's so many weirdos. It's like a new bat. I mean, you see some of the same faces, but there's some like new faces all the time too. Just weirdos popping up out of nowhere. Get to know Veli if you can. He's a real deal and helps people. Yeah, for sure. This video is not that great for some reason. It's like I think it's because it was his live stream or something, so it's like not very it's kind of laggy. Yeah, it's pretty choppy. So I think I'm bow out of that video. I think this video is from last night. This one's not live right now, I don't think. This one's Los Angeles. This one, I'm not sure if this is live right now. Oh, maybe it is. Can't tell. says October 1st on this screen, but no on these two.
Those
It's
laws
called
in
voting.
America
I'm gonna
that
vote.
mandates what men do with
Yeah, it
their
is.
bodies.
Yes, it
what,
is.
what law is that, sir?
The draft.
The draft.
Yes.
Okay.
Therefore, the government can control whether or not, well, I'm too old to go in the draft, but some of these young people that are on college campus, the government can tell you, we're going to war, and you're gonna fight, and you're gonna die for this country.
Okay.
They have no choice. They control the male body
Yeah.
through the government.
But there is no law where the government gets to determine whether or not the contents of your uterus.
Let's put it in this perspective. Is it fair to your husband, just say the baby was healthy? The perspective of the baby was healthy. Because medical doctors make mistakes all the time. They can say that the baby's going to come out abnormal or something like that, and the baby can be born normal.
Yeah.
Fine. They make mistakes. So you took a chance on them being right.
So there was no chance.
Okay, you
There
took a
was no
chance on them
chance.
being
There was
right.
amniocentesis. There was all kinds of. It wasn't a chance.
You took a chance
There
on
wasn't
them
a
being
chance,
wrong.
sir. There wasn't a chance.
Okay,
There were all kinds of scans. There was there wasn't a chance.
It's still a chance.
It wasn't a chance. It was not a chance.
Let's move on. I want to give a report on this real quick as well. So shout out to everybody that donated to Save the Storks. We are getting the medical mobile clinic right here in Phoenix, Arizona. We already reached our first goal, which was
Time for a little midnight snack. You already know what that's about. Yeah. What's everybody else up to right now? Tonight.
a picture like that is the one that we're going to upgrade to. What's the benefit of upgrading to the bigger unit? Before I get to that point, I want to make sure I at least tell you that it's $35 a month to support. You can give any amount. You can give $1. You can give $50. You can give, but we wanted to give $35 a month because that commitment every month is how we ensure that we can help a young woman. So $35 is at least to support one woman.
I'm still working on my YouTube watch hours. Last time I checked, I was at like 800. So doing these live streams is helping out with my watch hours. I got to get to 4,000 before I can get super chats. I have a salad and a chocolate pudding. Oh, I haven't had chocolate pudding in forever. I mislabeled you at first, saw you down there, thought one of them, then heard you speak and agreed with you. I'm glad I took some listen. Yeah, I mean, maybe I blended in at first. It probably helped me at first, but once they saw me talking to Nick Shirley, they were like, he's with him. And then, yes, in my video that I uploaded, right after the bitch with the sign got done attacking Nick, she came after me, swatted me and said, go home, or she said, why are you here, Ginger, or some shit like that. And then I said, why are you here? And I pushed her in the back, and then she came at me, and that's when I should have sprayed her in hindsight, but you know, hindsight's 50-50. And yeah, I was trying to be a good guy. I didn't want to spray the bitch, even though she deserved to get like whacked in the face. Dang, 4,000, that's ridiculous. $4,000 what?
Including that dog was a fetus at one point. Yes, you know, okay. it was a canine fetus. Yes. Okay. So what's the point?
What I'm saying is that it's still like the value doesn't change because the baby is born or not. The baby still has the exact same value in the womb as the baby does when it's born.
But this is what I'm
saying.
That is a fact.
Now let's put it in perspective. Your husband and you both are going to have a healthy baby. Is it fair to your husband that just say that you don't want the baby? That you can go.
Oh yeah, 4,000 watch hours.
It is my body.
That fair?
It's my body.
So let me check real quick how many watch hours I have. I'm gonna check the YouTube studio.
Baby too.
But it's in my body.
Yeah, but it's still his baby.
It's in
his DNA is in your body. That baby has his DNA.
I had last time I checked, I had 2,400 and. Oh, okay, never mind. I'm tripping. Damn, bro. It still says I only have 803 watch hours for some reason. But that says the data as of September 26th. Okay. So that's not updated data. That's my data from September 26th. So I've had a lot more watch hours since then, I think. I'm not sure why it's not telling me my current watch hours.
In your body.
Period.
Hey everybody, Dwayne Johnson here.
Stupid watch hours. I saw you were on earlier, so I turned on live stream in the background, watching your TV and girlfriend trying to get your. Oh, appreciate that, bro. 3 or 4 minutes stirred, then another. Yeah, true. Oh man. Yeah. I don't really give a fuck. I'll wait 45 minutes. I prefer it out of the toaster oven. I need it to be like, I like it when it's got a little crispiness to it too. And microwave can never do that for you.
African American History Museum in DC. No, and I'm gonna get to my point here. And I'm reading about.
But I got the toaster oven, but someone told me to get an air fryer because apparently air fryer is like the best you can get, man.
Enslaved in the Low Country. That's where my people are from, the Geechee Gullah part of South Carolina.
Okay.
And I'm reading about like what their lives were like. These are people that had no autonomy and no agency over their body, whether they were raped, whether their children were sold from them. What I'm telling you is, it is my body. It is not my husband's body.
No,
it is not.
The
it
baby
is
in
not the
you
rapist's
is not your body.
No, it is my body.
But
it cannot live outside of my body. It is a part of my body.
That argument.
Fetus, I'm talking about
that
the
argument
fetus.
doesn't work because when the baby is born, it still can't live without you.
For sure.
Body.
Can the baby when it's born live without you?
The baby, yes.
No, it cannot.
Yes, it can.
Yeah, I keep hearing about air fryers. It's like all the rage right now. Guess I gotta try it out.
Some adult, not necessarily me, but some adult has to care for it. See, that is a porous, ridiculous argument. What I'm saying
the baby still needs
until the point of viability.
When is the baby viable?
You know what? I made my point here.
No. When is the baby viable?
No,
When
sir.
is viability?
I made my point.
If your point is viability, then you're gonna have to change your point almost every year.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Because 50 years ago, a baby could not be born as early as they can be today with modern technology.
Okay.
So was it not viable then, and it's also viable now, and it's now viable?
But okay.
The argument, it's a moot point. The bottom line with abortion is that it's selfish.
It's a moot point.
Abortion is selfish.
So you think it was selfish?
It is selfish.
What do I owe my child that is alive then if I give birth if I give birth to a child that does not have a.
Every time I run the microwave, I run away from it as fast as possible. I'm not trying to catch no microwaves.
The frontal part of her brain.
So if the baby is diagnosed or to have Down syndrome, should you be able to abort the baby?
No, I'm not talking about Down syndrome.
No, Down syndrome.
No. Because
abortion
that's easy.
If
I'm talking about A, low bar, holoprosencephaly. Say it with me.
Let's argue.
Low bar, holoprosencephaly.
Are you trying to make a rap now? Okay.
I can.
Let's argue this
point. No, I'm talking about a child that is not born with the HQ.
Let's agree to this.
With the frontal lobe.
Now let's agree to this.
Yes.
Let's agree to this.
Let's agree to this.
I'm
talking about catastrophic.
Can we agree on this?
I'm not talking about Down syndrome.
Let's do that. Let's agree.
Okay, so go ahead. Talk about a low bar holoprosencephaly.
Let's agree.
Go ahead.
Let's agree real quick. Let's say that every child that is born with that disability, which means that which I haven't researched it, but let's assume that they may be stillborn when they're born.
Okay.
Let's just stick to that one. Every woman who has that condition can have an abortion, and no other women can have abortion. Would you agree to that?
No, I would not.
So then, what are the other women doing?
I believe
so
that
you get the bump and grind and pump and sweat with no consequences. Is that what you're saying?
But every woman who pumps and grinds, there are women where it was forced upon them.
Okay, let's say that those women.
That's crazy.
We agree that they're exempt.
No.
Yeah, seems like it doesn't.
Any girl
for any reason can kill their baby.
That they want to have an abortion
for
should
any
be
reason.
Allowed to do
That's
that.
insane.
That reason is her business.
No, it's not.
It is her business. It is not your business. It is not my business.
Let me tell you how
it is her business.
Let's do some
period.
Now
you know what I gotta do?
Let's do
I gotta
some
go. No, because I'm a librarian. I gotta go and do a librarian thing right now. Peace.
God bless you.
God bless you.
Okay. now that she's gone, let me be able to speak. So I think that abortion is selfish. Most women who are having abortion now are not due to rape and incest and none of that. That's less than 1% of all abortions. Most of them, as we all know, y'all grown, people having sex and they get pregnant and it's unwanted and they decide to have an abortion, whether they have it, the plan B and all this other, they have an abortion in the first trimester or whatever the case may be. That's what most abortions are. Can we agree that if you're not ready to take care of a child, you probably shouldn't be laying up with Tony, right? Can we?
Yeah. Faraday cage.
Can we be fair? You made a decision. Let me say this. I tell people this and they want to throw me off a cliff. I say I'm pro-life and pro-choice at the same time. Why do you say that, Brandon? Every woman does have a choice. Whether it's in the bedroom or in the den or in the back of the car, you had a choice. The choice is in the bedroom, not at the clinic. Can we be fair? I think men should be held to that account too. Brother, if you're not ready to have a baby, you can't be putting you where you don't supposed to be. If you're not ready to work on a job, why are you filling out the application and going to the job interview? If you don't want to get an injury, why are you playing football? Like, you can't expect that you are going to do these things that create life and expect for a life not to come.
Yeah. I never listened to his podcast or whatever, but I checked. Pretty sure I watched most of his college talks since he first came onto the scene.
Creates a situation where young men don't have to be held accountable and women are being used. Because all the young men have to do, because you can have an abortion. I'm going to sleep with you. But then, when it's time to have the baby, I don't want nothing to do with you. You're on your own, Jack. That gives men the possibility to do that.
Looks like they're still out there.
That's what's up. They're trying to blend in with the trees, but you can't. And these ones over here on stage, but they ain't doing nothing.
There's also lecture. True. Looks like there's some people still out there. I'm not sure if this is live or... because this one says October 1st in Los Angeles. And then this one's Portland, but I'm not sure if this one's live.
That's a good question.
I've had a weird faith journey for the year, so I'm going through stuff, but by fire. Yeah, I mean, I'm not super religious, but you gotta wear a cross just to represent that Christians are like, you know, as far as in the battle of good and evil, you gotta choose a side. And you don't even have to be religious to believe in good and evil, I don't think. I think it's just like kind of self-evident. Oh no. Fuck. No, fuck. Made it. Yeah, see, I wouldn't even say I have faith. I don't have faith, but I have morals, and Christian morals are important to me. Or it doesn't even have to be Christian morals. It could just be the golden rule, and the golden rule apparently exists in some form in every religion. So all I need is the golden rule to live by, and Christians are just the ones that I like the most, I guess. Spiritual journey, agree that choosing the side thing. There's a lot out there. Yeah, I don't go to church and stuff, but I believe, yeah, it's too dangerous to go to church, man. churches getting shot up and shit. They're not protected either. Yeah.
I will, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. I don't go to church, but I don't go to church for like church service, but there's a lot of churches around here that like do like charity and meals and stuff. So I used to go to this one church every Monday and Wednesday for like a free meal, and they would play piano as you ate. It was kind of cool. Jails, rehabs, even few institutions, yeah, nothing else. Yeah, it is good to have some sort of reprimand. You just love true. Damn, few institutions. Luckily, I haven't been to jail yet, or rehab, or an institution, but I stayed in a shelter for a while, and that was kind of like, it was like jail light. It's like pretty much like jail, except you're allowed to go outside during the day and spend time in the rain and with the other crazy outdoor people. The Serenity Prayer is something I learned about, and it helps me a lot. I think it's message transcends Christian. Don't do it. I went to church that had a school that got caught smoking bud when I was 13, and they kicked me out of the school and youth group. Damn. They couldn't show forgiveness for that. Then that's how you know they weren't very good Christians, because they would have shown forgiveness about that if they were good ones. Let me listen to the give me the Serenity Prayer.
God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Oh, that's the whole thing? I forget what we used to do. Like, we used to do some kind of a prayer. It was the one about give me the prayer about let those who trespass against us, or whatever.
That sounds like a line from the Lord's Prayer, Our Father, which includes the petition.
Give me the whole thing then.
The full version of the Lord's Prayer, Our Father, often recited is, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Forever and ever. See, I never memorized the whole thing. It's kind of long, but it's got some good stuff in there. Say that every day, short and sweet. It's pretty brief. We do live in interesting times, though, so short and sweet. Short and best. True.
I was gonna have my jacket on my face to I set up Portland protest.
I feel like the camera person that they're showing right now is like, it's one of their cameras. Like, I don't think that's the good side's cameraman. I think that's the bad side's cameraman, maybe. Thanks for keeping the streams up. I appreciate it. Many others do too. No worries. I appreciate the company, because Twitch viewers, I don't get a lot of viewers on Twitch. 6 followers to go. Ooh, I'm 6 followers from 190 followers on Twitch. One day I'll upgrade my OBS setup and figure out Make my Twitch nice and fancy. Anyways, let me find something else to watch. Quick rundown stream.
Introducing Guess Iconic, the new fragrance for men.
Let me figure this out here real fast. Headphones, yes. Eddie. Yeah, they're fucking plugged in, dude. Hold on, but you're coming through here. What happened here, Eddie? What did you do?
It looks like there's a bear sitting behind Portland Andy right now. So I think it's his dog.
Hello?
I magically showed up and messed it up for you.
I found it.
Oh, okay, let me check that one right now.
They talk again? God damn it! Why is it not working, Eddie? Huh? Hello? Yeah, it's coming over the freaking loudspeaker. Come over the loudspeaker. It should be coming over. My head. Let me try and turn these off and turn these back on. Oh wait, let me look up Bluetooth settings.
Herd guard shows up today.
Active successfully. All right, this should work now. Hello?
Is the National Guard supposed to show up in Portland today?
Despite the president's order to deploy National Guard troops to Portland, no members were yet in place as of the evening of October 1st, 2025. Troops were expected to begin reporting for processing this week, with the earliest possible deployment set for Thursday. But that timeline is considered unlikely. The deployment is currently being challenged by a lawsuit and a motion for a temporary restraining order filed by Oregon and the city of Portland.
According to AI, they're saying the earliest possibly Thursday, so if it's Wednesday today, I don't know. And they said they're challenging it, but I don't think they're going to be able to challenge it. They don't have the authority to challenge it. What's up, Richard? I don't think Portland's governor or mayor has the ability to challenge Trump sending the National Guard here.
Portland's Governor Tina Kotek has publicly objected to the deployment and, along with the state's Attorney General, filed a federal lawsuit to try and block the federalization and deployment of the Oregon National Guard to the city. While presidents can federalize the National Guard under certain circumstances, Title X authority, the legal limits of doing so without the governor's consent are often challenged in court. The mayor does not have this authority.
I hope they move in, man. And it's going to be dumb if they move them in for the daytime and then they don't have them there for the nighttime. You know what I mean? Because we need them out there at nighttime.
Yeah. It's understandable. Yeah, dude, that sounds like a good idea. Just don't tell any freaking lesbian jokes while you're there. You might be all right.
Kind of like when me and Hardy used to do it, because, you know, we had a work segregation and we always tell lesbian jokes.
I know. That's why you got fired.
Exactly. As soon as he gets built.
Democrats don't have a political party.
Let's see here.
Halloween party.
Protest.
AFC pilot.
Oh! Oh, that was an old. So you always been telling lesbian jokes? Is that your thing at
Yeah.
work? What you do?
Be back in a
Oh
second.
yeah, tell my boss gay jokes because he's actually gay.
So what's your best lesbian joke? Tell me now.
I got so many.
All right, let me hear your best one then.
Best one. It's drawing a blank right now. Hold on.
Oh, that's hilarious, dude.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Was that it? He has so many, chat. He has so many. Don't you worry. He's just going through the Rolodex.
Should I really do it? Because I don't want to get you strike.
How bad is it?
They're pretty bad. They're raunchy.
How raunchy?
Really bad.
Let's hear it.
I don't know if I could do it. I don't know. YouTube will ban you.
All right, Eddie.
I'm looking
Yeah.
out for you. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate you. Then tell me. You can tell me in private, and then I'll tell my chat or something.
Yeah.
All right. So what else is new?
Shit.
How's the hog running?
The hogs. Oh, they're trying to get it. I run it every day to work. Definitely. I get up about 4:30. Leave the house about 5:30. Go to work. Usually ride by the Fort Chaffee military base. We got Air Force and / Army base over here. F-35s are usually flying around.
Oh, sick. So do you like ride your bike and pretend you're freaking Tom Cruise in the movie Top Gun?
Yeah.
Highway to the danger zone. Highway to the.
I don't know how anyone still supports Antifa. If you ask me, they make enemies every time they appear somewhere. They make enemies, but somehow people still support them. Dems do, yeah. Sucks being in a far left city. Oh yeah, I was gonna check out Trump's military speech. Trump and Hegseth address military leaders at Quantico. Virginia. Full speeches, Trump and Hegseth. Dems in Congress. I will say they seem a lot less of them around than there were in Trump's first term. Or you mean Antifa? Pete told them all the sheep over go. Apparently after 2021, like after 2021, they were starting to pursue federal charges on certain Antifa people. So the main Rose City Antifa went underground. So there's still a bunch of Antifas out there and shit, but the big group, it feels like the big group of Antifa is gone. Now there's a smaller replacement one. Hair standards back. No more beards. Oh yeah, no more beardos. No more beardies. Something about fitness standards for officers. I think General's. Yeah, I'm watching it right now. Oops, I got it muted.
There's pull-up bars just outside. The SEALs in the corner out there are very happy about that. I regret to inform you there will not be a PT test.
Please take your seats.
Beardo was the word he. I had to pause.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
The Joint Chiefs, Generals, Admirals, Commanders,
Beardos.
Officers, Senior Enlisted, NCOs, Enlisted, and every member of our American military. Good morning. Good morning and welcome to the War Department. Because the era of the Department of Defense is over.
The dog.
You see, the motto of my first platoon was those who long for peace must prepare for war. This is, of course, not a new idea. This crowd knows that. The origin dates to the 4th century Rome and has been
They're trying to
ever
avoid
since,
federal
including by our
charges.
first Commander-in-Chief,
why.
George Washington, the first leader of the War Department. It captures a simple yet profound truth. To ensure peace, we must prepare for war. From this moment forward, the only mission of the newly restored Department of War is this: warfighting. Preparing for war and preparing to win. Unrelenting and uncompromising in that pursuit. Not because we want war, no one here wants war. But it's because we love peace. We love peace for our fellow citizens. They deserve peace, and they rightfully expect us to deliver it. Our number one job, of course, is to be strong so that we can prevent war in the first place. The president talks about it all the time. It's called peace through strength. And as history teaches us, the only people who actually deserve peace are those who are willing to wage war to defend it. That's why pacifism is so naive and dangerous. It ignores human nature and it ignores human history. Either you protect your people and your sovereignty, or you will be subservient.
Damn, this is like a fucking hour-long speech. Are you serious? He gives an hour-long speech, man? How the fuck am I supposed to listen to this shit?
To something or someone. It's a truth as old as time.
I followed Jay-Z.
And since waging war is so costly in blood and treasure, we owe our republic a military that will win any war we choose, or any war that is thrust upon us. Should our enemies...
Crazy how long a sentence they were trying to give those J6ers. 2 times speed is a good speech.
Choose foolishly to challenge us, they will be crushed by the violence, precision, and ferocity of the War Department. In other words, to our enemies, F-A-F-O. If necessary, our troops can translate that for you. Another way to put it is peace through strength, brought to you by the warrior ethos. And we are restoring both.
He said,
as President Trump has said, and he's right, we have the strongest, most powerful, most lethal, and most prepared military on the planet. That is true, full stop. Nobody can cut any war that is thrust upon us. Should our enemies choose...
Bro, I just changed the goddamn playback speed. What the fuck?
Choose foolishly to challenge us, they will be crushed by the violence, precision, and ferocity of the War Department. In other words, to our enemies, F-A-F-O. If necessary, our troops can translate
That's my motto too, kids.
that for you. Another way to put it is peace through strength, brought to you by the warrior ethos. And we are restoring both. As President Trump has said, and he's right, we have the strongest, most powerful, most lethal, and most prepared military on the planet. That is true, full stop. Nobody can touch us. It's not even close. This is true largely because of the historic investments that he made in his first term and will continue in this term. But it's also true because of the leaders in this room and the incredible troops that you all lead. But the world, and as the chairman mentioned, our enemies get a vote. You feel it, I feel it. This is a moment of urgency, mounting urgency. Enemies gather, threats grow. There is no time for games. We must be prepared. If we're going to prevent and avoid war, we must prepare now. We are the strength part of peace through strength. And either we're ready to win or we are not. You see, this urgent moment, of course, requires more troops, more munitions, more drones, more Patriots, more submarines, more B-21 bombers. It requires more innovation, more AI in everything and ahead of the curve. More cyber effects, more counter-UAS, more space, more speed. America is the strongest, but we need to get stronger and quickly. The time is now, and the cause is urgent. The moment requires restoring and refocusing our defense industrial base, our shipbuilding industry, and onshoring all critical components. It requires, as President Trump has done, getting our allies and partners to step up and share the burden. America cannot do everything. The free world requires allies with real hard power, real military leadership, and real military capabilities. The War Department is tackling and prioritizing all of these things. And I'll be giving a speech next month that will showcase the speed, innovation, and generational acquisition reforms we are undertaking urgently. Likewise, the nature of the threats we face in our hemisphere and in deterring China is another speech for another day, coming soon. This speech today, as I drink my coffee, this speech today is about people, and it's about culture. The topic today is about the nature of ourselves. Because no plan, no program, no reform, no formation will ultimately succeed unless we have the right people and the right culture at the War Department. If I've learned one core lesson in my 8 months in this job, it's that personnel is policy. Personnel is policy. The best way to take care of troops is to give them...
He seems like a good leader. Yeah, I like it so far. The fat people part.
Competent, qualified, professional, agile, aggressive, innovative, risk-taking, apolitical.
I think I'm still early into the speech. I think he goes on for like an hour. But I'm 18 minutes in.
Faithful to their oath and to the Constitution. Eugene Sledge, in his World War II memoir, wrote, quote, "War is brutish, inglorious, and a terrible waste. Combat leaves an indelible mark on those who are forced to endure it. The only redeeming factors are my comrades' incredible bravery and their devotion to each other. In combat, there are thousands of variables, as I learned in Iraq and Afghanistan, and as so many of you did in so many more places. Leaders can only control about 3 of them. You control how well you're trained, mostly how well you're equipped, and the last variable is how well you lead. After that, you're on your own. Our warfighters are entitled to be led by the best and most capable leaders. That is who we need you all to be. Even then, in combat, even if you do everything right, you may still lose people because the enemy always gets a vote. We have a sacred duty to ensure that our warriors are led by the most capable and qualified combat leaders. This is one thing you and I can control. And we owe it to the force to deliver. For too long, we've simply not done that. The military has been forced by foolish and reckless politicians to focus on the wrong things. In many ways, this speech is about fixing decades of decay. Some of it obvious, some of it hidden. Or as the chairman has put it, we are clearing out the debris, removing the
got a late night date,
distractions, clearing the way for leaders to be leaders. You might say we're ending the war on warriors. I heard someone wrote a book about that. For too long, we promoted too many uniformed leaders for the wrong reasons.
It used to annoy me. I used to have this friend. He would watch every YouTube video in ×2 Spade. Like, It didn't matter what it was always on ×2 speed. And I was like, dude, I can't absorb this information.
Based on their race, based on gender quotas, based on historic so-called firsts. We've pretended that combat arms and non-combat arms are the same thing. We've weeded out so-called toxic leaders under the guise of double-blind psychology assessments.
This is 1 point.
Promoting risk-averse, go-along-to-get-along conformists instead. You name it, the department did it. Foolish and reckless political leaders set the wrong compass headed, and we lost our way. We became the woke department, but not anymore. Right now, I'm looking out at a sea of Americans who made a choice when they were young men and young women to do something most Americans will not, to serve something greater than yourselves, to fight for God and country, for freedom and the Constitution. You made a choice to serve when others did not, and I commend you. You are truly the best of America. But this does not mean, and this goes for all of us, that our path to this auditorium on this day was a straight line, or that the conditions of the formations we lead are where we want them to be. You love your country, and we love this uniform, which is why we must do better. We just have to be honest. We have to say with our mouths what we see with our eyes, to just tell it like it is in plain English, to point out the obvious things right in front of us. That's what leaders must do. We cannot go another day without directly addressing the plank in our own eye, without addressing the problems in our own commands and in our own formations.
I was just normal, but I can still keep.
This administration has done a great deal from day one to remove this politically correct and toxic ideological garbage that had infected our department, to rip out the politics. No more identity months, DEI offices, dudes in dresses. No more climate change worship. No more division, distraction, or gender delusions. No more debris. As I've said before, and will say again, we are done with that shit. I've made it my mission to uproot the obvious distractions that made us less capable and less lethal. That said, the War Department requires the next step. Underneath the woke garbage is a deeper problem, and a more important problem that we are fixing and fixing fast. Common sense is back at the White House, so making the necessary changes is actually pretty straightforward. President Trump expects it. And the litmus test for these changes, pretty simple. Would I want my eldest son, who is 15 years old, eventually joining the types of formations that we are currently wielding? If in any way the answer to that is no, or even yes, but, then we're doing something wrong. Because my son is no more important than any other American citizen who dons the cloth of our nation. He is no more important than your son. All precious souls made in the image and likeness of God. Every parent deserves to know that their son or their daughter that joins our ranks is entering exactly the kind of unit that the Secretary of War would want his son to join. Think of it as the golden rule test. Jesus said, do unto others that's what you would have done unto yourself. It's the ultimate simplifying test of truth. The new War Department golden rule is this: do unto your unit as you would have done unto your own child's unit. Would you want him serving with fat or unfit or undertrained troops? Fatties. Or alongside people who can't meet basic standards? Or in a unit where standards were lowered so certain types of troops could make it in? In a unit where leaders were promoted for reasons other than merit, performance, and warfighting? The answer is not just no, it's hell no. This means at the War Department, first and foremost, we must restore a ruthless, dispassionate, and common sense application of standards. I don't want my son serving alongside troops who are out of shape, or in combat unit with females who can't meet the same combat arms physical standards as men, or troops who are not fully proficient on their assigned weapons, platform, or task, or under a leader who was the first, but not the best.
That's kind of crazy. I had a similar thing. Like, I would never do homework too, so most of my grade was like my classwork was always like C's, like maybe a B on a good day, but I never did homework, so certain classes I failed because homework counted for like so much of your grade or whatever.
Standards must be uniform, gender neutral, and high. If not, they're not standards. They're just suggestions. Suggestions that get our sons and daughters killed. When it comes to combat arms units, and there are many different stripes across our joint force, the era of politically correct, overly sensitive, don't hurt anyone's feelings leadership ends right now. At every level, either you can meet the standard, either you can do the job, either you are disciplined, fit, and trained, or you are out. And that's why today, at my direction, and this is the first of 10 Department of War directives that are arriving at your commands as we speak and in your inbox. Today, at my direction, each service will ensure that every requirement for every combat MOS, for every designated combat arms position, returns to the highest male standard only. Because this job is life or death. Standards must be met. And not just met, at every level we should seek to exceed the standard, to push the envelope, to compete. It's common sense. And core to who we are and what we do, it should be in our DNA. Today at my direction, we are also adding a combat field test for combat arms units that must be executable in any environment at any time and with combat equipment. These tests, they'll look familiar. They'll resemble the Army Expert Physical Fitness Assessment or the Marine Corps Combat Fitness Test. I'm also directing that warfighters in combat jobs execute their service fitness test at a gender-neutral, age-normed male standard scored above 70%. It all starts with physical fitness and appearance. If the Secretary of War can do regular, hard PT, so can every member of our joint force. Frankly, it's tiring to look out at combat formations, or really any formation, and see factory.
Time to celebrate. 50 minutes ago, they got another one at the facility. Got another scumbag. The American flag. But YouTube only has trans flag. Fucking bullshit. Oh, yeah. X is the best place to get find the news, I guess. Because I keep since I keep reposting a lot of Portland stories, I'm getting a lot of different news. Ugh.
Likewise, it's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon and leading commands around the country and the world. It's a bad look. It is bad, and it's not who we are. So whether you're an airborne ranger or a chairborne ranger, a brand new private or a 4-star general, you need to meet the height and weight standards and pass your PT test. And as the chairman said, yes, there is no PT test. But today, at my direction, every member of the Joint Force at every rank is required to take a PT test twice a year, as well as meet height and weight requirements twice a year.
Yeah, I want to figure out how to change my emoji choices. I know, like, certain channels you can have like custom emoji things.
But we're codifying. And we're not talking like hot yoga and stretching. Real hard PT, either as a unit or as an individual. At every level, from the Joint Chiefs to everyone in this room to the youngest private, leaders set the standard. And so many of you do this already. Active, guard, and reserve. This also means grooming standards. No more beards.
No more
long
beardos.
hair. Superficial individual expression. We're going to cut our hair, shave our beards, and adhere to standards. Because it's like the broken windows theory of policing. It's like when you let the small stuff go, the big stuff eventually goes. So you have to address the small stuff. This is on duty, in the field, and in the rear. If you want a beard, you can join Special Forces. If not, then shave. We don't have a military full of Nordic pagans. But unfortunately, we have had leaders who either refuse to call BS and enforce standards, or leaders who felt like they were not allowed.
I still don't understand the beard thing.
Both are unacceptable. And that's why today, at my direction, the era of unprofessional appearance is over.
They were saying the beard thing is so that you can wear like airtight masks or whatever. But it's like, that makes sense if you are wearing the mask, but if most of the time you're not wearing the mask, then I don't see the problem. What's up, C-Tech?
No more beardos.
I just joined
the era of rampant and ridiculous shaving profiles is done. Simply put, if you do not meet...
Well, follow my account and I'll follow you back. That's when I got on X2 after Elon bought it. Morning, how are you? Pretty good. What's up, Daniel?
Male level physical standards for combat positions. Cannot pass a PT test or don't want to shave and look professional, it's time for a new position. Or a new profession.
So there's this one too. Last night this guy was telling federal officers, "Don't fucking touch me, bitch. I'll fucking take you out. Tonight he got arrested by those same officers and is currently in the ICE facility shaking like a leaf. So this kid was talking shit last night, and then this is the same kid tonight in the ICE facility after he got arrested. They all need the same treatment.
I sincerely appreciate the proactive efforts the secretaries have already taken in some of those areas, service secretaries. And these directives are intended to simply accelerate those efforts. On the topic of standards, allow me a few words to talk about toxic leaders. Upholding and demanding high standards is not toxic. Enforcing high standards, not toxic leadership. Leading warfighters toward the goals of high, gender-neutral, and uncompromising standards in order to forge a cohesive, formidable, and lethal Department of War is not toxic. It is our duty, consistent with our constitutional oath. Real toxic leadership is endangering subordinates with low standards. Real toxic leadership is promoting people based on immutable characteristics or quotas, instead of based on merit. Real toxic leadership is promoting destructive ideologies that are an anathema to the Constitution and the laws of nature and nature's God, as Thomas Jefferson wrote in the Declaration of Independence. The definition of toxic has been turned upside down, and we're correcting that. That's why today, at my direction, we're undertaking a full review of the department's definitions of so-called toxic leadership, bullying, and hazing, to empower leaders to enforce standards without fear of retribution or second-guessing. Of course, you can't do like that.
So apparently I missed Savannah Says. She came to the ICE facility at maybe today, I think. It looks like today because of the weather.
Yeah, Turning Point US. Yeah, Turning Point USA. This is what we have to say to you.
You think Charlie Kirk deserves to die?
I think Charlie Kirk's a piece of shit. You know,
Yes or no? That's the point. Yes
honestly,
or no?
he's kind of a fascist, so I would say yes.
What's your message?
I heard Special Forces guys keep a beard in Islamic countries sometimes. Plus, 6'6", 240 pounds. They use shackle me all over. So I didn't get to. That's crazy. I didn't realize she was in town. That would have been cool to meet her too. I'm not sure if that was today or what. But hopefully she stays in town for when the shit really pops off.
Bullying and hazing. We're talking about words like bullying and hazing and toxic. They've been weaponized
Cool to
and
meet her.
bastardized inside our formations, undercutting commanders and NCOs. No more. Setting, achieving, and maintaining high standards is what you all do. And if that makes me toxic, then so be it. Second, today in our direction, we're ensuring that every service, every unit, every schoolhouse, and every form of professional military education conduct an immediate review of their standards. Now, we've done this in many places already, but today it goes across the entire Department of War. Any place where tried and true physical standards were altered, especially since 2015 when combat arms standards were changed to ensure females could qualify, must be returned to their original standard. Other standards have been manipulated to hit racial quotas as well, which is just as unacceptable. This too must end. Merit only. The President talks about it all the time. Merit-based. Here are two basic frameworks I urge you to pursue in this process. Standards I call, my staff's heard all about them, the 1990 test and the E6 test. The 1990s test is simple. What were the military standards in 1990? And if they have changed, tell me why. Was it a necessary change based on the evolving landscape of combat? Or was the change due to a softening, weakening, or gender-based pursuit of other priorities? 1990 seems to be as good a place to start as any. And the E6 test. Ask yourself, does what you're doing make the leadership, accountability, and lethality efforts of an E6, or frankly an O3, does it make it easier or more complicated? Does the change in power staff sergeants, petty officers, and tech sergeants to get back to basics? The answer should be a resounding yes. The E6 test, or O3 test, clarifies a lot, and it clarifies quickly. Because war does not care if you're a man or a woman. Neither does the enemy. nor is the weight of your rucksack, the size of an artillery round, or the body weight of a casualty on the battlefield who must be carried. This, and I want to be very clear about this. This is not.
Yeah. It's crazy. There's all these female journalists going down there, but there's not as many males going down there.
Best.
It's like the fucking crazy motherfuckers are trying to assault the females.
Women can make it. Excellent. If not,
Yeah, same.
bad jobs, so be it. That is not.
I went out there and I didn't even expose myself as right wing, and they hated me. I was being completely neutral when I was there. Just filming everything. Not talking to anyone or antagonizing anyone or anything.
The warrior alongside you in battle is capable, truly physically capable of doing what is necessary under fire. You know, this is the only standard you would want for your kids and for your grandkids. Apply the War Department Golden Rule, the 1990 test, and the E6 test, and it's really hard to go wrong. Third, we are attacking and ending.
Sounds delicious, actually.
Command culture. A risk-averse culture means officers execute not to lose instead of to win. A risk-averse culture means NCOs are not empowered to enforce standards. Commanders and NCOs don't take necessary risks or make tough adjustments for fear of rocking the boat or making mistakes.
That delicious late night snack time. Some Swedish meatballs. Oh yeah.
To end the poisonous culture of risk aversion and empower our NCOs at all levels to enforce standards. Truth be told, for the most part, we don't need new standards. We just need to reestablish a culture where enforcing standards is possible. And that's why today at my direction, I'm issuing new policies that will overhaul the IG, EO, and MEO processes.
Holy shit.
I call it the no more walking on eggshells policy.
Such a long speech.
We are liberating commanders and NCOs. We are liberating you. We are overhauling an Inspector General process, the IG, that has been weaponized, putting complainers, ideologues, and poor performers in the driver's seat. We're doing the same with the equal opportunity and military equal opportunity policies, the EO and MEO at our department. No more frivolous complaints, no more anonymous complaints, no more repeat complainants, no more smearing reputations, no more endless waiting, no more legal limbo, no more sidetracking careers, no more walking on eggshells. Of course, being a racist has been illegal in our formation since 1948. The same goes for sexual harassment. Both are wrong and illegal. Those kinds of infractions will be ruthlessly enforced. But telling someone to shave or get a haircut or to get in shape or to fix their uniform or to show up on time or to work hard, that's exactly the kind of discrimination we want. We are not civilians. You are not civilians. You are set apart for a distinct purpose. So we as a department need to stop acting and thinking like civilians and get back to basics and put the power back in the hands of commanders and NCOs. Commanders and NCOs who make life and death.
Here's good. It sounds good to hear. Love to hear it. So much support for Antifa scum around here. Need more real people to stand up against them.
Decisions. Commanders and NCOs who enforce standards and ensure readiness. Commanders and NCOs who in this War Department have to look in the mirror and have to pass the Golden Rule test. My kids, your kids, America's sons and daughters. So I urge you all here today and those watching, take this guidance and run with it. The core of this speech is the 10 directives we're announcing today. They were written for you, for Army leadership, for Navy leadership, for Marine Corps leadership, for Air Force leadership, Space Force leadership. These directives are designed to take the monkey off your back and put you, the leadership, back in the driver's seat. Move out with urgency because we have your back. I have your back. And the Commander-in-Chief has your back. And when we give you this guidance, we know mistakes will be made. It's the nature of leadership. But you should not pay for earnest mistakes for your entire career. And that's why today, at my direction, we're making changes to the retention of adverse information on personnel records that will allow leaders with forgivable, earnest, or minor infractions to not be encumbered by those infractions in perpetuity. People make honest mistakes, and our mistakes should not define an entire career. Otherwise, we only try not to make mistakes, and that's not the business we're in. We need risk takers and aggressive leaders. and a culture that supports you. Fourth, at the War Department, promotions across the Joint Force will be based on one thing: merit. Colorblind, gender-neutral, merit-based. The entire promotion process, including evaluations of warfighting capabilities, is being thoroughly re-examined. We've already done a lot in this area, but more changes are coming soon. We'll promote top-performing officers and NCOs faster and get rid of poor performers more quickly. Evaluations, education, and field exercises will become real evaluations, not box checks, for every one of us at every level. These same reforms happened before World War II as well. General George Marshall and Secretary of War.
Shoot, I consider them, you know, I think they're doing a good job. I should I should like said something nice to them about it when I was there. But yeah, they've been covering it like the whole time. I just haven't wanted to like make myself stand out or whatever, because I don't know, I guess I am worried about Antifa just like finding me when I'm alone or something somewhere in town. Gotta worry about these terrorists. Yeah.
Other members of the Joint Chiefs, combatant commanders, and other commanders. The rationale for me has been straightforward. It's nearly impossible to change a culture with the same people who helped create or even benefited from that culture, even if that culture was created by a previous president and previous secretary. My approach has been simple. When in doubt, assess the situation, follow your gut, and if it's the best for the military, make a change. We all serve at the pleasure of the president every single day. But in many ways, it's not their fault. It's not your fault. As foolish and reckless as the woke department was, those officers were following elected political leadership.
It's crazy, man. I guess we do gotta prepare for war. The speech is pretty on point, you know. He's not talking just to the military, he's talking to everybody. We all gotta prepare for war.
Entire generation of generals and admirals were told that they must parrot the insane fallacy that, quote, our diversity is our strength. Of course, you know, our unity is our strength. They had to put out dizzying DEI and LGBTQI+ statements. They were told females and males are the same thing, or that males who think they're females are totally normal. They were told that we need a green fleet and electric tanks. They were told to kick out Americans who refuse an emergency vaccine. They followed civilian policies set by foolish and reckless political leaders. Our job, my job, has been to determine which leaders simply did what they must to answer the prerogatives of civilian leadership, and which leaders are truly invested in the woke department, and therefore incapable of embracing the War Department and executing new lawful orders. That's it. It's that simple. So for the past 8 months, we've gotten a good look under the hood of our officer corps. We've done our best to thoroughly assess the human terrain. We've had to make trade-offs.
All I know is I'm sick of this shit, and I'm not gonna put up with it.
And some difficult decisions. It's more of an art than a science. We have been and will continue to be judicious, but also
all of it.
Expeditious. The new compass heading is clear. Out with the Shirellis, the Mackenzies, and the Millies, and in with the Stockdales, the Schwarzkopfs, and the Pattons. More leadership changes will be made, of that I'm certain. Not because we want to, but because we must. Once again, this is life and death. The sooner we have the right people, the sooner we can advance the right policies. Personnel is policy. But I look out at this group, and I see great Americans. Leaders who have given decades to our great republic, at great sacrifice to yourselves and to your families. But if the words I'm speaking today are making your heart sink, then you should do the honorable and resign. We would thank you for your service. But I suspect, I know, the overwhelming majority of you feel the opposite. These words make your hearts full. You love the War Department because you love what you do, the profession of arms. You are hereby liberated to be an apolitical, hard-charging, no-nonsense, constitutional leader that you joined the military to be. We need you locked in on the M. Not the D, the E, or the I, not the DEI or the DIE of dying. By that I mean the M, military, of the instruments of national power. We have entire departments across the government dedicated to diplomatic, informational, and economic lines of effort. We do the M. Nobody else does. And our GoFos need to master it in every domain and every scenario. No more distractions, no more political ideologies, no more debris. Now, of course, we're going to disagree at times. We would not be Americans if we didn't. Being a leader in a large organization like ours means having frank conversations and differences of opinion. You will win some arguments, and you will lose some arguments. But when civilian leaders issue lawful orders, we execute. We are professionals in the profession of arms. Our entire constitutional system is predicated upon this understanding. Now, it seems like a small thing, but it's not. This includes as well the behavior of our troops online. To that end, I want to thank and recognize the services for their new proactive social media policies. Use them. Anonymous, online, or keyboard complaining is not worthy of a warrior. It's cowardice masquerading as conscience. Anonymous, unit-level social media pages that trash commanders, demoralize troops, and undermine unit cohesion must not be tolerated. O3s, E6s. Sixth, we must train and we must maintain. Any moment that we are not training on our mission or maintaining our equipment is a moment we are less prepared for preventing or winning the next war. That is why today, at my direction, we are drastically reducing the ridiculous amount of mandatory training that individuals and units must execute. We've already ended the most egregious. Now we're giving you back real time. Less PowerPoint briefings and fewer online courses, more time in the motor pool, and more time on the range. Our job is to make sure you have the money, equipment, weapons, and parts to train and maintain, and then you take it from there. You all know this because it's common sense. The tougher and the higher the standards in our units, the higher the retention rates in those units. Warriors want to be challenged. Troops want to be tested. When you don't train and you don't maintain, you demoralize. And that's when our best people decide to take their talents to the civilian world. The leaders who created the woke department have already driven out too many hard chargers. We reverse that trend right now. There is no world in which high-intensity war exists without pain, agony, and human tragedy. We are in a dangerous line of work. You are in a dangerous line of work. We may lose good people. But let no warrior cry out from the grave, if only I had been properly trained. We will not lose warfighters because we failed to train or equip them or resource them. Shame on us if we do. Train like your warriors' lives depend on it. Because they do. To that point, basic training is being restored to what it should be. Scary, tough, and disciplined. We're empowering drill sergeants to instill healthy fear in new recruits, ensuring that future warfighters are forged. Yes, they can shark attack, they can toss bunks, they can swear, and yes, they can put their hands on recruits. This does not mean they can be reckless or violate the law, but they can use tried and true methods to motivate new recruits, to make them the warriors they need to be. Back to basics at basic as well. Of course, and you know this, basic training is not where mission readiness should end. The nature of the evolving threat environment demands that everyone, in every job, must be ready to join the fight if needed. A core credo of the Marine Corps is every Marine a rifleman. It means that everyone, regardless of MOS, is proficient enough to engage an enemy threat at sea, in the air, or in a so-called rear area. We need to ensure that every member of our uniformed military maintains baseline proficiency in basic combat skills, especially because the next war, like the last, will likely not have a rear area. Finally, as President Trump rightly pointed out when he changed the department name, the United States has not won a major theater war since the name was changed to the Department of Defense in 1947. One conflict stands out in stark contrast: the Gulf War. Why? Well, there's a number of reasons, but it was a limited mission with overwhelming force and a clear...
Yeah, I agree. I think it is a good thing to prepare for war.
State. But why did we execute and win the Gulf War the way we did in 1991? There's two overwhelming reasons.
I think we should all be like doomsday preppers.
One was President Ronald Reagan's military buildup gave an overwhelming advantage. And two, military and Pentagon leadership had previous formative battlefield experiences. The men who led this department during the Gulf War were mostly combat veterans of the Vietnam War. They said never again to Mission Creek, or nebulous end states. The same holds true today. Our civilian and military leadership is chock full of veterans from Iraq and Afghanistan who say never again to nation building and nebulous end states. This clear-eyed view, all the way in the White House, combined with President Trump's military buildup, postures us for future victories if, and we will, and when we embrace the War Department. And we must. We are preparing every day. We have to be prepared for war, not for defense. We're training warriors, not defenders. We fight wars to win, not to defend. Defense is something you do all the time. It's inherently reactionary and can lead to overuse, overreach, and mission creep. War is something you do sparingly, on our own terms, and with clear aims. We fight to win. We unleash overwhelming and punishing violence on the enemy. We also don't fight with stupid rules of engagement. We untie the hands of our warfighters to intimidate, demoralize, hunt, and kill the enemies of our country. No more politically correct and overbearing rules of engagement. Just common sense, maximum lethality, and authority for warfighters. That's all I ever wanted as a platoon leader. And it's all my E6 squad leaders ever wanted, back to that E6 rule. We let our leaders fight their formations, and then we have their back. It's very simple, yet incredibly powerful. A few months ago, I was at the White House when President Trump announced his Liberation Day for America's trade policy. It was a landmark day. Well, today is another Liberation Day. The liberation of America's warriors, in name, in deed, and in authorities. You kill people and break things for a living. You are not politically correct and don't necessarily belong always in society. We are not an army of one. We are a joint force of millions of selfless Americans. We are warriors. We are purpose-built.
I don't know. At this point, it feels like if it is coming to civil war, it is going to be the strong survive. So, I don't know. We got to prepare a little bit, as much as we can.
Not for fair weather, blue skies, or calm seas. We were built to load up in the back of helicopters, 5 tons, or Zodiacs, in the dead of night. In fair weather or foul, to go to dangerous places, to find those who would do our nation harm, and deliver justice on behalf of the American people in close and brutal combat, if necessary. You are different. We fight not because we hate what's in front of us. We fight because we love what's behind us. You see, the Ivy League faculty loungers will never understand us, and that's okay, because they could never do what you do. The media will mischaracterize us, and that's okay, because deep down they know the reason they can do what they do is you. In this profession, you feel comfortable inside the violence so that our citizens can live peacefully. Lethality is our calling card, and victory our only acceptable end state. In closing, a few weeks ago, at our monthly Pentagon Christian prayer service, I recited a commander's prayer. It's a simple yet meaningful prayer for wisdom for commanders and leaders. I encourage you to look it up if you've never seen it. But the prayer, it ends like this. And most of all, Lord, please keep my soldiers safe. Lead them, guide them, protect them, watch over them. And as you gave all of yourself for me, help me give all of myself for them. And amen. I prayed this prayer many times since I've had the privilege of being your secretary. And I will continue to pray this prayer for each of you as you command and lead our nation's finest. Go forth and do good things, hard things. President Trump has your back, and so do I. You'll hear from him shortly. Move out and draw fire, because we are the War Department. Godspeed.
I reckon we all got meaningless people do not even know. Will to survive is the power of man, I recommend fish lines. Dude, every time I watch these videos, this is from tonight apparently. Every time I see this shit, I just want to fucking attack.
Don't touch her. Don't you fucking push her. Don't touch her. Don't you fucking push me. Shut the fuck up.
Look at these pieces of shit. Look at these fucking pieces of shit. Just they assaulted Savannah Hernandez, a female. That's the type of pieces of shit we got in this city. Beat the shit out of her.
You won't hear a murmur in the room. I said, we got to loosen these guys up a little bit. So you just have a good time. But I want to thank Secretary Hegseth and General Kane, General Raising Kane for a reason they call him that. When I heard his name, I said, yeah, the guy I'm looking for.
They actually torched Ice. It wasn't even Ice Cube's tour bus. It was his staff's tour bus. But yeah, they torched it thinking it was actual ice. And that should be another reason for them to fucking send that should be another reason for them to send fucking military for that fucking firebomb on an Ice Cube. Holy shit.
Our chiefs of staff and so many others in this room who together represent the greatest and most elite force in the history of the world, the United States military. We're very proud of our military. I rebuilt the military during my first term. It's one of the greatest achievements. We had the greatest economy in history, and I built the military. Those are the two things I say more than anything else. And I also kept us safe at the borders. We had very good borders. We didn't have people coming in from jails and prisons and everything like took place over the last 4 years. I'll never forget what happened to this country over the last 4 years with the incompetence. There could be no higher honor than to serve as your commander. It's a great honor. And look at you, just incredible people. Central casting, I might add. To each and every one of you, thank you for your unwavering devotion to the armed forces and to the country that we've all sworn a sacred oath to defend. We all have that oath, every one of us. I'm thrilled to be here this morning to address the senior leadership of what is once again known around the world as the Department of War. I know Pete spoke about it. He gave a great speech, I thought. Great speech. I don't want him to get so good. I hate that. You know? No, I hate it. I almost fired him. I said, you can't, I don't want to go on after that. No, he gave a great speech, but he talked about Department of War. We were sitting there. I said, didn't it used to be called the Department of War? You know, he goes, yes, sir. They changed it like in the early 50s. So we won the First World War. We won the Second World War. We won everything in between and everything before that. We only won. And then we went away woke. That was probably the first sign of wokeness. And we changed it to dance instead of war. And I said, what do you think? How do you think if we changed it back? Would that be a nice idea? And Pete loved it immediately. Some people thought about it, you know, they gave it a little thought. But in the end, we did it. And I have to be honest, it's so popular. I thought it would be met with fury on the left. But they're sort of giving up, I must be honest with you. They've had it. They've had it with Trump. They've been after me for so many years now. Here we are. Here we are. Come to the White House anytime you'd like. No, they've given up. A lot of bad people. But all over, it's been so popular. It's been very popular. I really thought that we were going to have to sort of fight it through. There's been no fight. There's been no fight. Like what I called the Gulf of America, the Gulf of America, because to me it was always the Gulf of America. I could never understand. We have 92% of the frontage. And for years, actually 350 years over there before us, it was called the Gulf of Mexico. I just had this idea. I'm looking at a map. I'm saying, we have most of the frontage. Why is it Gulf of Mexico? Why isn't it the Gulf of America? And I made the change, and it went smoothly. I mean, we had a couple of fake news outlets that refused to make the change. And then one of them, AP, took us to court, and we won. And the judge, who was a somewhat liberal judge, said, the name is the Gulf of America, because AP refused to call it the Gulf of America. They wrote, they're not a good outfit, by the way. They call it the Gulf of Mexico. I said, no, the Gulf of America is the name. And the judge actually said that, in fact, you can't even go into the room because what you're doing is not appropriate. The name is the Gulf of America. Google Maps changed the name. Everybody did, but AP wouldn't. And then we won in court. How about that? Isn't that so cool? The Secretary Hegseth beautifully described the name change. It reflects far more than the shift in branding. It's really a historic reassertion of our purpose and our identity and our pride. That's when we go with the word war. And you know, we want war because we want to have no wars, but you have to be there, and you know, sometimes you have to do it. I have settled so many wars since we're here almost 9 months, and I've settled 7, and yesterday we might have settled the biggest of them all, although I don't know, Pakistan, India was very big. Both nuclear powers, I settled that. But yesterday could be the settlement in the Middle East. That hasn't happened for 3,000 years. I said, how long have you been fighting? 3,000 years. So that's a long time. But we got it, I think, settled. We'll see. Hamas has to agree. And if they don't, it's going to be very tough on them, but it is what it is. But all of the Arab nations, Muslim nations have agreed. Israel has agreed. It's an amazing thing. It just came together.
Man. Yeah, they better show up out there.
War is very strange, you know, you never know what's going to happen with war. The easiest one of them all is Putin. I said, number one, it's a war that would have never happened if I were president. The election weren't rigged. If I were president, that war would have never happened. Not even a little chance. And it didn't happen for 4 years. But I knew Putin very well, and I thought that would be easy because I know him so well. Well, that one turned out to be the hardest of them all. We had some that were not settlable, and they all got settled. So if this works out, that we did yesterday, with the Middle East, then that's more than a war. That's lots of wars. That's all combined. That's a lot of wars. Many of you were over there, many different capacities in many different countries. That's a big part of the earth. But if that works out, it would be 8+. I could give myself 2 or 3 for that one. And then we just have the one to settle. We have to settle it up with President Putin and Zelensky. Got to get them together and get it done. But the only way we can do that is through strength. We were weak. They wouldn't even take my fight for it. But we have extreme strength. We had the horror.
I literally want to just beat the fucking shit out of some piece of fucking shit Antifa right now. So sick of these fucking people. Fucking terrorist pieces of shit. And the footage keeps coming. The footage keeps coming.
In Afghanistan, which is really the reason I think that Putin went in. He saw that horror show by Biden and his team of incompetent people. And that showed, I think it gave him a path in. I wasn't there any longer. I watched that and it was so horrible. I think it was the most embarrassing day in the history of our country. And now we're back. And that's it. We don't have any of that crap happen, I can tell you. That was terrible, so terrible. Together we're reawakening the warrior spirit, and this is a spirit that won and built this nation. And from the cavalry that tamed the Great Plains to the ferocious and yielding power of Patton Bradley and the great General Douglas MacArthur. These are all great men. In this effort, we're a team, and so my message to you is very simple. I am with you, I support you, and as president, I have your backs 100%. You'll never see me even waver a little bit. It's the way it is. And that includes our great police officers and firemen and all of these people that are doing so well. Together over the next few years, we're going to make our military stronger, tougher, faster, fiercer, and more powerful than it has ever been before. I rebuilt our nuclear, as you probably know, but we'll upgrade that also and just hope we never have to use it. We have to hope we never have to use it, because the power of that is so incredible. I see things, I don't think they'd show it to you. I really wouldn't want them to show it to you. But when you see the result of what's left, you never want to use that. Never, never, ever. We were a little bit threatened by Russia recently.
Bro, I'm
and
so
I
sick
sent
of these
a
people.
submarine.
Like, I'm almost at the point where I almost want to, like, join ICE so I can fucking gear up and fucking riot act these fools. Read them the riot act.
The most lethal weapon ever made. Number one, you can't detect it. There's no way. We're 25 years ahead of Russia and China in submarines. Russia's actually second in submarines. China's third, but they're coming up. They're coming up. They're waiting lower in nuclear too, but in 5 years they'll be equal. They're coming up. And you don't have to be that good with nuclear. You could have 1/20th what you have now and still do the damage. That would be, that'd be so horrendous. But I announced that, based on his mention of nuclear, and it was really a stupid person that works for, I mentioned the word nuclear, I moved a submarine or two, I won't say about the two, over to the coast of Russia, just to be careful, because we can't let people throw around that word. I call it the N-word. There are two N-words, and you can't use either of them. You can't use either of them. And frankly, if it does get to use, we have more than anybody else. We have better, we have newer, but it's something we don't ever want to even have to think about. But when somebody mentions it, that submarine started immediately thereafter. And it's just working, but I'm sure we're not going to have to use it. But it's an amazing, it's undetectable, totally. Ours is, theirs are totally detectable. We can detect it easily. We go right to the spot. But we have genius apparatus that doesn't allow detection. It doesn't allow detection at all by anybody above water or below water. It's incredible. We're way ahead of everybody in that and other things. As a result of the exciting renewal of the spirit of our armed forces, and that's what it is. It's really reaching its spirit, unprecedented heights. Over the past 8 months, new enlistments, I'm so proud of this, have surged to record highs, the highest we've ever had. And we used to have recruiting shortages. If you remember, about a year and a half ago, I was at the beginning stage of a campaign, and things came out that you couldn't get people to join the armed forces. And by the way, the police also, fire department, I always put the department in because they're great. They're great. And I got 95% of their vote too, that helps. When you get 95% of their vote, you always have to mention them. But they're great. And they're brave in our inner cities, which we're going to be talking about, because it's a big part of war now. It's a big part of war. But the firemen go up in ladders and you have people shooting at them while they're up in ladders. I don't even know if anybody heard that. And I said, don't talk about it much, but I think you have to. Our firemen are incredible. They're up in one of these ladders that goes way up to the sky, rescuing people, and you have animals shooting at them, shooting bullets at firemen that are way up in death territory. You fall off that ladder, it's over. It's over. They don't even have to inspect you when you hit the ground. And you have people shooting bullets at them in some of these inner cities. We're not going to let that happen. So I always mention the firemen because that's actually a big problem we have. They are unbelievable. Like you, they're unbelievable people. For the first time on record in 2025, the Navy, Air Force, and Space Force all met or surpassed their recruiting goals 3 months early. That never happened before. And the Army did even better. Congratulations, Army. They met everything. And these were the highest standards because we're making it larger. So these were much higher standards than you had 4 years ago, 3 years ago, during the Sleepy Joe Biden era. And the Army did it 4 months early. And you remember, a year and a half ago, they said the big story is that we're way behind with the Army, Air Force, the Navy, the Marines. We're way behind, Coast Guard. And even Space Force. I love Space Force because that was my creation. You know, when you create something, I love it. And the people we put in there were good. I got that right. We put in great people initially, and we really dominated. We really dominated that sphere now. We're way behind China and Russia, and now we dominate. Space Force turned out to be a very important thing. I said from the beginning, you know, when Biden came into office, he wanted to terminate it. He said, and this thing called Space Force, so he could get rid of that. And he got hammered by the people in this room for even suggesting it, because it's very important, one of the most important. And as time goes by, it'll get more and more important. But we're now at 106% of our recruiting targets for the year, and that's the best in far more than a generation. And for the Marines, morale is so strong that the Marine Corps will meet its 2026 retention targets before the end of October, which never happens. And that's the earliest it's ever happened in the history of our country. And it makes you feel good, you know. I felt guilty. I'd go make a speech in front of never people like you. You are the leaders, but people, soldiers. And I felt embarrassed because there'd be stories about, you know, we couldn't fill up our Army, Navy, Air Force. We couldn't fill them up. And it was headlines. It was during Biden's 4 years. The auto pen, I call them the auto pen. That's how would you like to have your thing signed by an auto pen? You know, when I am a general and I have to sign for a general because we have beautiful paper, the gorgeous paper. I said throw a little more gold on it. They deserve it. I want the A paper, not the D paper. We used to sign a piece of garbage. I said, this man's going to be a general, right? Yeah. I don't want to use this. I want to use the big, beautiful, firm paper. I want to use the real gold writing when you talk about the position, and they're beautiful. And, but how would you like to have that where some kid sitting in the back office is having it signed with an auto pen? I thought about it, and I thought about you people first, admirals, generals. And I said, somebody works his whole life. He gets into maybe the academies or wherever, but however you got there, and you go through years of work, and now you become an admiral or a general or whatever. And when you do, the President of the United States signs your commission, as you know, and that commission is beautifully displayed. And I sign it. Actually, I love my signature. I really do. Everyone loves my signature. But I signed it very proudly, and I always think to myself, how can you have an auto pen sign this? It's just so disrespectful to me.
This speech is hella boring to me. Can't wait till the fucking National Guard gets here. It's gonna be funny too, because I bet Antifa's not even gonna show up when the National Guard gets here. I'm gonna be too fucking scared. Man, all these videos are just pissing me off. Pissing me off.
You wanna do it your way.
Fucking assholes. That's why I usually just got rid of this shit. Crazy times we live in. Alright, good night, mate. I'm not sure what I'm doing right now. Guess I'm kind of getting a little tired. just fucking pissed off about all this shit I keep seeing on X. Just, you see so much fucking just people assaulting people all the time. And then now you see this fucking Portland ICE shit, and they're just out there assaulting people. It's like, I don't want to be in the position where I have to be assaulted or assault someone. But then it's like our fucking law enforcement isn't doing shit. Craziness. Yeah, they're really not doing shit. Crazy. It's because our fucking politicians can't even get our fucking politicians to admit. It's like they fucking in a fucking echo chamber, like they haven't seen the fucking news of people getting assaulted every night. Yeah, and I feel like there needs to be more citizen arresting out here. Like, if citizen, like, there's like security companies all over the place, but how come no one's doing like citizen arrests on anybody? There's criminals all over the place. I remember one time I was at the dollar store or the Dollar Tree, and I was leaving, and I saw some guy run out, like, as I would left the store, some guy ran out after me carrying like a basket full of stuff, and they were like, "Stop!" And I was thinking about citizen arresting his ass, but I didn't. So maybe I should have. Some people need to be citizen arrested. Since cops can't always be there. City, city. Cops should be our auxiliaries. They should help us deal. I'm wondering, like, if anyone's got it right. Like, I mean, I know Portland's fucked, but like, does any town in the USA have a good, solid like handle on crime? Craziness. I don't know how Portland got so shitty. I don't know how there's so many insane people here. There's so many insane people here that are evil. Insane evil people. This is, I don't think this is copyrighted music. Maybe it is.
Like a relentless weed, moderate to severe ulcerative colitis symptoms can keep coming back. Break away to what's possible with Tremfya, with rapid relief at 4 weeks. Many people experienced remission at 1 and even 2 years. Some saw 100% visible healing of their intestinal lining. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and TB. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya.
Before we begin, let's take one breath together. Each morning is a door opening to new possibility. Maybe you know this feeling. The alarm jolts you awake, and before your eyes even open, your mind is already racing. What you didn't finish yesterday, what's waiting today, that tightness already forming in your chest. But the Buddha discovered something profound. Suffering begins in the mind, and so does peace. In Buddhist tradition, dawn isn't just the start of a day, it's a sacred moment. Your mind is still soft, not yet hardened by the rush of thoughts. Your heart is still open before the world asks anything of you. For the next few hours, we'll explore 10 ancient Buddhist teachings together. Not rules you must follow, but gentle invitations. Small practices that transformed monks centuries ago and can transform how you begin each day now. You don't need to master all 10. Choose one that speaks to you. That's enough. Get comfortable. Maybe adjust your pillow. Pull a blanket closer. Let your body truly settle. This time is yours. If it feels right, share your thoughts in the comments below. Maybe what you're hoping to find in these teachings, or simply that you're here. The door is already open. Let's step through together, beginning where all awakening begins, the moment you open your eyes. Each day that opens before you is a gift. Though we forget this, the moment consciousness returns, the eyes open, and immediately the mind reaches backward to yesterday's unfinished business, forward to today's demands. What you didn't complete, what's waiting, what might go wrong. The gift of waking gets buried under these thoughts before you've even left the bed. Buddhism invites you to begin from a different place entirely. Not from what you lack, but from what already is. A place deeper than the mind's habitual complaints. The place of gratitude. Picture yourself right now, or tomorrow morning when you first wake. You're still in bed, body warm, mind hovering between sleep and day. Before you move, before you plan, before you remember what's difficult in your life, pause. Just for a moment. Place one hand gently on your chest. Feel what's happening there. Your heart, beating steadily. It's been doing this all night while you slept, without your attention, without your effort. Faithful, constant, keeping you alive. And then, one word. Just one. Thank you. That's the practice. It's not complex. No special training required. No perfect state of mind needed. Just your hand, your heartbeat, and that simple word, meeting the morning. In Buddhist understanding, a grateful mind is a peaceful mind. The mind that constantly searches for what's missing, what's wrong, what should be different. That mind lives in perpetual suffering, not because circumstances are so terrible, but because it's trained itself to focus on absence rather than presence. The grateful mind does something revolutionary. It acknowledges what's here. I'm not preaching at you. I'm just observing what happens inside a human being. Notice it yourself. When you spend your first waking moments cataloging problems, how does your body feel? There's a tightness, isn't there? A heaviness. Now imagine beginning instead with gratitude, even if you don't feel it perfectly, even if it seems forced at first. Something shifts. Something softens. Maybe you do have worries. Maybe real difficulties cloud your life right now. Financial stress, relationship pain, health concerns, grief. These are real, and I'm not asking you to pretend they don't exist. But even when clouds fill the sky, even when your mind feels heavy with legitimate concerns, this practice of morning gratitude opens a crack of light. What can you be grateful for, even on a difficult day? The roof over your head, keeping weather out while you slept. The bed that held your body through the night. The lungs that kept breathing without your conscious direction. Your body, imperfect as it might feel, still accompanying you on this journey. The fact that you woke at all, not everyone did. These aren't grand things. They're ordinary, easily overlooked. But ordinariness doesn't mean worthless. In Buddhist practice, we learn to see the profound in the simple. There's a beautiful image for this practice. Imagine you have a flower inside you. Not a physical flower, but something like it. A capacity for peace, for openness, for light. This flower exists in everyone, but it needs water to bloom. Gratitude is that water. Each morning when you place your hand on your chest and say thank you, you're watering this inner flower. Not dramatically. You won't see immediate blooming. But over time, with patient daily watering, something changes. The flower grows, and flowers do what flowers do naturally. They perfume the air around them. Your gratitude, practiced each morning, begins to perfume your whole day. This doesn't mean your circumstances magically improve. The difficulties might still be there, but your relationship to them shifts. You meet challenges from a different inner place, more grounded, more stable, less reactive. You start seeing opportunities hidden inside difficulties. You notice small beauties you would have walked past. You respond to people with more patience because you're not approaching the day from a place of internal deficit. The gratitude you cultivated at dawn quietly changes how you move through the hours that follow. The Vietnamese Zen master, Thich Nhat Hanh, used to remind his students of something we forget constantly. He'd say that we already have enough conditions to be happy. Right now, not someday, when we achieve the right things or fix the right problems. Now, think about what enough means. We're conditioned to believe enough is always just beyond reach. A little more money, a better relationship, different circumstances, then we'd have enough. But this is a trap. The finish line keeps moving. You arrive at what you thought was enough, and suddenly, it isn't anymore. Gratitude practice breaks this cycle. It doesn't make you complacent or stop you from working toward good things, but it shifts the foundation from I don't have enough to I can work with what is. That shift changes everything. So here's what this looks like in your real life, in your real morning. Tomorrow, when consciousness returns and you find yourself in that space between sleep and day, before you reach for your phone, before you let the thought spiral begin, remember. One hand on your chest, feel that faithful heart. One word, thank you. You're not performing for anyone. No one needs to know you're doing this. This isn't content for social media or a way to prove you're spiritual. This is an intimate conversation between you and life itself. Private, sacred in its simplicity. Maybe you'll feel a warm wave of genuine gratitude wash through you. Maybe you'll feel nothing at all. Maybe it will seem mechanical, forced, even fake. That's all okay. The practice isn't about manufacturing a specific feeling. It's about the gesture itself. The decision to begin your day by acknowledging life rather than immediately problematizing it. Like planting a seed, you don't demand the seed sprout immediately. You plant it, water it, and trust the process. Some mornings the gratitude will feel real and deep. Other mornings it will feel like going through motions. Both mornings matter. Both are practice. And if you forget tomorrow, if you wake and immediately grab your phone and fall into the old pattern, then the next morning, begin again. This is crucial to understand about Buddhist practice. It's not about perfection. It's about returning. You'll forget. You'll skip days. You'll wake anxious and spiral into worry before remembering you intended to do something different. That's not failure. That's being human. The practice is in the returning. Each time you remember and come back to gratitude, you're strengthening something inside yourself. You're training the mind the way you train any skill, with repetition, patience, and self-compassion when you stumble. Think of it this way. Your mind has grooves worn deep by years of certain patterns. Waking to worry is a groove. Waking to complaint is a groove. Waking to immediate planning and anxiety is a groove. These grooves are so deep that your thoughts naturally flow down them without any effort on your part. Gratitude practice begins to carve a new groove. At first it's shallow, easily missed. Your thoughts keep falling into the old patterns because those grooves are deeper, more familiar. But each morning you practice gratitude, even imperfectly, you're deepening this new groove. Over weeks and months, this new pathway becomes more established. Eventually, gratitude becomes more natural, less forced. It becomes your mind's default orientation, rather than something you have to consciously construct. But this takes time. Western culture often promises instant transformation. Do this one thing and your life will change tomorrow. Buddhism is more honest. It says, do this one thing consistently, with patience, and without harsh self-judgment, and over time, you'll notice you've become someone different. Not because you forced change, but because you watered what you wanted to grow. The morning is the perfect time for this practice, because of where you are mentally and emotionally when you first wake. Your mind hasn't fully constructed its daily narrative yet. The ego isn't fully online. There's a softness, an openness that exists in those first moments. Throughout the day, the mind builds layers of story, identity, preference, judgment. By afternoon, you're deep in the narrative of who you are and what your life means. But in the morning, especially in those first seconds of consciousness, you're closer to something more fundamental, something less constructed. Gratitude planted in that fertile ground takes root differently than gratitude forced in the middle of a stressful afternoon. Both have value, but morning gratitude shapes the foundation of your day. There's also something to be said for the cumulative effect of beginning this way. One morning of gratitude might make a small difference. 7 mornings in a row start creating momentum. 30 mornings begin rewiring habitual patterns. 365 mornings transform how you meet existence itself. This is the Buddhist understanding of practice. Small, consistent actions compound over time into profound change, not through force or willpower, but through patient repetition, with an attitude of gentleness toward yourself. So as you lie there tomorrow morning, hand on chest, saying your quiet thank you to life, remember, you're participating in something ancient. Countless practitioners before you have begun their days exactly this way. Monks in temples, lay people in homes, people in every circumstance, and culture across centuries. You're not alone in this practice. You're joining a river of practice that has flowed for thousands of years. And your small morning gesture adds to that river, keeps it flowing forward. This isn't about being Buddhist or adopting a religious identity. You don't need to believe anything particular. You're simply working with the raw material of your own consciousness, learning to shape it in ways that create less suffering and more peace. And as you rest in this gratitude, still lying in bed, body warm, heart beating steadily beneath your palm, you might notice.
The YouTube channel is Moon Mind Temple, and it's 10 Buddhist teachings for a peaceful morning. Zen Buddhism practices for stress relief.
Something else that's been there all along. Your breath, moving in and out naturally, sustaining you without effort. And that becomes the bridge to the next practice, the next doorway opening. And as you rest in this gratitude, still lying in bed, body warm and heart beating steadily beneath your palm, you might notice something else that's been there all along. Your breath.
No worries.
It's been moving in and out this entire time, hasn't it? While you placed your hand on your chest, while you said thank you, while you read or listened to these words, breath continued its patient work. Rising and falling, entering and leaving, sustaining you without asking permission, without needing your attention. This breath has been with you since your very first moment of life outside the womb, that initial gasp, that first inhale, and it hasn't stopped since. Through sleep and waking, through joy and sorrow, through every experience you've ever had, breath has been the constant companion. Usually, it's invisible to us. Background noise we never notice. But right now, in this moment, you're becoming aware of it. And that awareness itself is the practice. In Buddhist tradition, conscious breathing is called anapanasati, mindfulness of breathing. This practice has been transmitted teacher to student for over 2,500 years, not because it's complicated or mystical, but because it's profound in its simplicity. Breath serves as a bridge between your body and your mind. It's both voluntary and involuntary. You can control it consciously, yet it continues automatically when you're not paying attention. It exists right at the boundary between what you can direct and what simply happens. More importantly, breath anchors you to the present moment. You can think about yesterday's breath or tomorrow's breath, but you can only actually breathe right now. This breath, this inhale, this exhale. When you bring attention to breathing, you're automatically bringing attention to now. So before you leave the bed this morning, before you reach for your phone or begin planning your day, let's take just 3 breaths together. 3 conscious breaths. I'll guide you through them as if we're sitting together. You don't need to do anything except follow along. First breath. Inhale slowly through your nose. Feel the air as it enters, cool at your nostrils, traveling down through your throat, filling your lungs. Notice your chest expanding, your belly rising, if you're breathing deeply enough. Feel how this incoming air awakens your cells, brings fresh oxygen to your blood. Now exhale, releasing through your nose or mouth, whichever feels natural. As you breathe out, imagine you're releasing everything accumulated during the night. Any tension held in your body, any residue of dreams still clinging to consciousness, any worry about the day ahead, just letting it all go with this out-breath. That's 1. Second breath, even slower this time. Inhale gently and pay attention to something you might not have noticed before. there's a pause at the top of the inhale. That moment when your lungs are full and you haven't yet begun to exhale. Rest in that pause for just a second. Then exhale, slowly and completely, and notice there's another pause at the bottom. When your lungs are empty and you haven't yet begun the next inhale, rest there too. In those pauses, something opens. A gap in the constant motion, a tiny window of stillness between the movement of breathing. You don't need to do anything with this observation, just notice it. That's 2. Third breath now. This time, don't try to control it at all. Don't make it deep or slow or any particular way. Just allow your body to breathe however it wants to breathe. You simply watch. Observe this breath as it naturally occurs. Feel it arriving without your effort. Feel it departing without your command. This is how breath has worked your entire life, automatically, wisely, without needing management. That's 3. Now just rest for a moment with whatever you're experiencing. Maybe your body feels more awake. Maybe your mind feels slightly clearer. Maybe nothing feels different at all. All of this is fine. You've probably noticed how your breath changes throughout the day depending on your emotional state. When you're anxious, breath becomes shallow and rapid, trapped high in your chest. When you're relaxed, it deepens naturally, settling into your belly. When you're angry, it becomes sharp and quick. When you're peaceful, it flows smooth and even. The breath reflects your inner state. But here's what's remarkable. The relationship works both ways. Just as your emotions affect your breath affects your emotions. When you consciously slow and deepen your breathing, your nervous system receives a message. Things are okay. You can calm down. This isn't superstition or wishful thinking. It's how your body. So these 3 conscious breaths you just took, they're not just meditation practice. They're a gift to your nervous system, a signal that this morning can begin from a place of centeredness rather than reactivity. This practice isn't about fixing yourself. You're not broken. It's about befriending yourself, meeting yourself with attention and kindness first thing in the morning. The Buddha taught something important about breath. He said it's the one refuge you never leave home without. You might forget your keys, your phone, your wallet, but you never forget your breath because it's always with you. When you're lost in thought, spiraling into worry or planning or reminiscence, breath brings you back. When you're overwhelmed by emotion, breath steadies you. When you're scattered and fragmented, breath gathers you together. It's like having a wise teacher who never speaks, but is infinitely patient, always waiting for your attention. Breath doesn't demand anything from you. It doesn't judge you for forgetting about it for hours or days. The moment you remember and bring awareness to breathing, it's right there, ready to guide you home to the present moment. This is why breath is so central to Buddhist meditation practice. Not because there's anything magical about it, but because it's reliable, always available, and directly accessible to your awareness. Think about your day ahead. Maybe you have a stressful meeting, traffic that will test your patience, a difficult conversation you've been avoiding, deadlines pressing on you. Whatever challenges await, you'll have breath with you. Even if the rest of your day becomes chaotic, you began with this anchor. You established this connection to conscious breathing before everything else started demanding your attention, and you can return to it any time. Sitting in that meeting, feeling tension rise, 3 breaths. Stuck in traffic, irritation building, 3 breaths. Before that difficult conversation, 3 breaths. You're back, centered again. The Vietnamese Zen master, Thich Nhat Hanh, offered a beautiful teaching about conscious breathing. He would say, breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Such simple words, yet they contain a complete practice. Notice he doesn't say, I try to calm my body, or I hope to smile. He speaks in the present tense, with confidence. The in-breath calms. The out-breath allows a smile. You can use these words if they resonate with you, or you can simply be with the breath in silence. The words are just a vehicle. What matters is the attention, the awareness, the returning to this moment through the gateway of breath. Here's something else worth understanding about this practice. It's not about breathing better or achieving some perfect breath. You don't need to breathe deeply every moment or maintain some ideal breathing pattern. The practice is simply being present while you breathe, noticing it, feeling the miracle of this automatic process that keeps you alive. Every single breath is a small miracle when you think about it. Air enters your body, travels to your lungs, oxygen crosses into your bloodstream, carbon dioxide returns, and gets expelled. This happens 15 to 20 times every minute, without you having to remember or manage it. Your body knows exactly what to do. When you notice breath, when you bring consciousness to this automatic process, something awakens. Not in some mystical sense, but in a very practical way. You become aware that you're alive, that you're here, that this moment is happening. Most of us spend most of our time anywhere but here. We're replaying yesterday, rehearsing tomorrow, lost in fantasy, or fear, or planning. The present moment gets missed entirely. Breath is the doorway back. Always available, always now. As you lie there this morning, having taken your 3 conscious breaths, you might notice your body feels more present, more inhabited. You're not just a head full of thoughts anymore. You're a breathing being, connected to the physical reality of existence. This embodiment matters. So much of our suffering happens because we live entirely in our heads, cut off from the body's wisdom. The body is always in the present moment. It doesn't worry about tomorrow or regret yesterday. It simply is, breath by breath, heartbeat by heartbeat. When you bring attention to breathing, you're essentially asking your mind to join your body in the here and now. You're reuniting aspects of yourself that spend too much time separated. And this reunion, this coming home to yourself through breath, creates a foundation for everything else you'll do today. You're not fragmenting yourself right from the start. You're beginning with some basic wholeness, some integration. Throughout the day, you might notice moments when you naturally return to conscious breathing. Maybe you're waiting in line and you suddenly become aware of your breath. Maybe you're between tasks and there's a pause where you notice you're breathing. These aren't random moments. They're your consciousness, remembering what you practiced this morning. The morning practice plants a seed. Throughout the day, that seed sprouts little moments of remembrance, little returns to presence. You don't have to force these moments. They arise naturally because you established the pattern at dawn. This is how practice works in Buddhism. You're not trying to maintain perfect awareness every second. You're creating conditions for awareness to arise more frequently, more easily. Like water finding established channels, Your attention learns to flow back to breath more readily the more you practice. Some days the 3 morning breaths will feel profound. Other days they'll feel mechanical, like you're just going through the motions. Both experiences are valid. Both are practice. The quality of your experience isn't what matters most. What matters is that you're showing up, that you're taking these few moments to remember yourself, to honor your life with attention before the day sweeps you away into its demands. And now, with gratitude established in your heart and breath, anchoring you to this present moment, you're ready to consider something else. How do you want to move through this day? Not what you'll do, but how you'll be while doing it. With this breath as your foundation, with this connection to the present moment established, you can now choose an intention for your day, a quality of being you want to cultivate, a direction you want to move toward. The breath has prepared you for this next step, grounded you in your body, gathered your scattered attention into this moment. From this place of presence, you can see more clearly what matters to you, what kind of person you want to be as you move through the hours ahead. With gratitude established in your heart and breath anchoring you to this present moment, you've created something rare in our modern world, a pocket of clarity before the day begins making demands. You're still in bed, or perhaps sitting now, body awake, but mind not yet fragmented by the 100 directions it will be pulled today. This is the moment to choose. Not what you'll do. Your calendar likely already holds that information, but how you'll be while doing it. Each morning is like receiving a blank canvas. You're the artist, holding the brush, but here's what most of us do. We never consciously pick up that brush. We let the day paint us instead. We react to whatever appears, respond to whoever demands our attention, move through hours, shaped entirely by external forces. By evening, we look at the canvas and barely recognize what's there. We didn't choose these colors, this composition, this quality of energy. It just happened to us. Buddhism offers a different approach. Before the day begins painting you, you make one conscious mark on the canvas. You establish an intention. In the Buddha's Noble Eightfold Path, this is called Samma Sankappa, right intention. It's not about goal setting in the way Western culture understands goals. You're not making a to-do list or defining success metrics. You're choosing a direction for your inner life, an orientation for your consciousness. The question is simple and profound. How do I want to move through today? Sit with that question for a moment. Not, what do I need to accomplish? But, how do I want to be? Your intention might be very simple. Maybe today you want to pause before reacting to things. Just that, a breath between stimulus and response. Or maybe your intention is, today, I'll listen more than I speak. Or, today, I'll move through tasks without rushing. Or, today, I'll be kind to myself when I make mistakes. Notice these aren't grand spiritual declarations. They're honest orientations toward qualities of being that matter to you. They're intimate, personal, true. You know that feeling when the day spins out of control, when you're completely reactive, bouncing from one demand to another, like a pinball, when you get to evening exhausted, having spent the entire day responding rather than choosing. Your morning intention is the thread you can hold in those moments. It's your way home when you've gotten lost in the chaos. The Buddha taught something essential about how change happens in human beings. He said everything begins in the mind. Every word you'll speak today, every action you'll take, every gesture you'll make, all of it first arises as mental energy, as thought, as intention. Before your hand moves to help someone, the intention to help forms in consciousness. Before you speak harshly, irritation arises in the mind. Before you choose patience, the intention toward patience appears. Most of this happens unconsciously, shaped by habit and conditioning. But you have a moment of choice each morning. You can consciously plant an intention before habits take over. Think of your consciousness as soil. At dawn, that soil is soft, receptive, not yet hardened by the day's heat. When you plant an intention in morning consciousness, you're putting a seed in fertile ground. That seed will influence how the day unfolds, not rigidly controlling it, but gently shaping it. There's a teaching in Zen about bamboo that helps understand the nature of intention. Bamboo has an incredibly strong root system, deep, interconnected, nearly impossible to destroy. But above ground, bamboo is remarkably flexible. In strong winds, it bends dramatically without breaking. Your intention is like bamboo. It needs a strong root, genuine commitment, honest acknowledgement of what matters to you. But it doesn't need to be rigid in form. Life will bend you today. Unexpected things will happen. Plans will change. People will surprise you. If your intention is brittle and demanding, you'll break under that pressure.
Can you say this 10 times fast?
But if your intention has bamboo's nature, rooted but flexible, you can bend with circumstances without losing yourself. You have direction.
Probably not. Red glue gun, blue. Red glue gun, blue glue gun, red glue gun, red glue gun, blue 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 glue gun, Google gun, Google red glue gun. Yeah, it doesn't sound like red glue gun. It sounds like Rego gun and Google gun.
Without brittleness. Let's be honest about how this actually works in real life. You set your intention this morning. Maybe, today, I want to respond with patience. Beautiful. Then by 10:30 you're snapping at a coworker. Or feeling irritated in traffic. This is completely normal.
Man, I'm trying to let this Zen Buddhism sink in on me. How's the uplifting audio? Trying to calm me down, because right now I'm just thinking about bashing the motherfucker's tooth in. Does it work? Yeah, a little bit. Here, I can give you a real quick tour of my crib. There's the kitchen. There's some collectibles. There's the bathroom. There's my table thing. It's also a cabinet. There's my suitcase and my cardboard. Here's my cabinet with all my cool stuff back there. And a couple of, there's my storage place, my clothes, TV, fridge. This is my regular setup. That's the AC, the cat tree, the bed. And then tweakers usually stay outside, across the street. And yeah, it's pretty much the whole place right here. What am I mad about? I'm mad about the fucking Antifa scum assaulting people and getting away with it in our city. They're all fucking retards. And the footage keeps coming out. It's like night after night. They're just out there assaulting people and being pieces of shit, getting away with crimes. And it's just like, I want to break out my baton and swing it on them. So I'm hoping this Zen Buddhism can really help me out right now.
Expected. Even. You haven't failed. Maybe around lunch, you suddenly remember your intention. Oh, I wanted to practice patience today. I've already lost it 3 times.
Gotta practice patience today.
That moment of remembering, that's the practice. Not staying in perfect alignment with your intention every second, but noticing when you've drifted and coming back. This returning is everything. No judgment needed. No harsh self-criticism. Just, oh, I drifted.
You gotta not drift from, can't drift from the peace. You gotta keep coming back to the peace. Otherwise, you'll get lost in those violent thoughts. And you'll become just like the pieces of shit you're trying to not become. But you may become part of the violence. Watching you all the way from Thailand. That's dope. What's up, Kevo? Still keeps listening to Patience. Yeah, man,
I'll come back now.
I don't know, should I be listening to some Sun Tzu, Art of War, instead? And practicing, maybe I should. Let me try that. Let's try some Sun Tzu, Art of War. Learn about some war strategies. I just searched it up. Where you from? Portland, Oregon. Where Antifa is currently assaulting the ICE facility and people outside of it every day. What was I gonna type in? Oh, Sun Tzu. Unabridged audiobook. 13th chapter. The Art of War. I was going to send a quote from it.
Sun Tzu and the Art of War.
If you know the enemy and
Chapter
know
1,
yourself, you need
laying
not
plans.
to fear the result of 100 battles.
Sun Tzu said,
Sun Tzu
the art
said-
of war is of vital importance to the state. It is a matter of life and death, a road either to safety or to ruin. Hence, it is a subject of inquiry.
Income-based rental situation. For me, it's yeah.
Can on no account be neglected. The art of war, then, is governed by 5 constant factors to be taken into account in one's deliberations when seeking to determine the conditions obtaining in the field. These are 1. The moral law. 2. Heaven. 3. Earth. 4. The commander. 5. Method and discipline. The moral law causes the people to be in complete accord with their ruler, so that they will follow him regardless of their lives, undismayed by any danger. Heaven signifies night and day, cold and heat, times and seasons. Earth comprises distances, great and small, danger and security, open ground and narrow passes, the chances of life and death. The commander stands for the virtues of wisdom, sincerity, benevolence, courage, and strictness. By method and discipline are to be understood the marshalling of the army in its proper subdivisions, the graduations of rank among the officers, the maintenance of roads by which supplies may reach the army, and the control of military expenditure. These 5 heads should be familiar to every general. He who knows them will be victorious. He who knows them not will fail. Therefore, in your deliberations, when seeking to determine the military conditions, let them be made the basis of a comparison. In this wise, 1. Which of the 2 sovereigns is in?
Yeah, man, there's just so many crazy people around here. I don't understand it. Like, I really don't understand this. The people around here.
The moral law. 2. Which of the 2 generals has most ability? 3. With whom lie the advantages derived from heaven and earth? 4. On which side is discipline most rigorously enforced? 5. Which army is stronger? 6. On which side are officers and men more highly trained? 7. In which army is there the greater constancy both in reward and punishment? By means of these 7 considerations, I can forecast victory or defeat. The general that hearkens to my counsel and acts upon it will conquer. Let such a one be retained in command. The general that hearkens not to my counsel, nor acts upon it, will suffer defeat. Let such a one be dismissed. While heeding the profit of my counsel, avail yourselves also of any helpful circumstances over and beyond the ordinary rules. Accordingly, as circumstances are favorable, one should modify one's plans. All warfare is based on deception. Hence, when able to attack, we must seem unable. When using our forces, we must seem inactive. When we are near, we must make the enemy believe we are far away. When far away, we must make him believe we are near. Hold out baits to entice the enemy, feign disorder, and crush him. If he is secure at all points, be prepared for him. If he is in superior strength, evade him. If your opponent is of choleric temper, seek to irritate him. Pretend to be weak, that he may grow arrogant. If he is taking his ease, give him no rest. If his forces are united, separate them. Attack him when he is unprepared. Appear where you are not expected. These military devices leading to victory must not be
I live
divulged.
in a building with
beforehand.
assholes above me. I look across the parking lot and there's assholes in the corner and assholes parking in our marked parking spot. Assholes
The
everywhere.
general who loses a battle.
I know, right? And it's time to put an end to assholes. Righteousness will overcome evil. Swift righteousness. I think we're going to bring back the Crusades, bro. I think it's going to be a holy war. I don't know.
Makes but few calculations beforehand. Thus, do many calculations lead to victory and few calculations to defeat.
All I know is I'm not going anywhere without this thing. Not going anywhere without this and my my other tools for safety.
How much more no calculation at all? It is by attention to this point that I can foresee who is likely to win or lose. Chapter 2, Waging War.
War!
Sun Tzu said, "In the operations of war, where there are in the field 1,000 swift chariots, as many..."
Hey man, if it's in self-defense, I don't give a shit. It's like, it's my life or theirs. If I'll take a charge. I don't give a fuck about taking a charge. Like, if you check my Instagram and see my most recent video, they were trying to break my phone. They were trying to attack people. They were pushing people from behind. They tried to like attack me and fight me. And yeah. No go anymore. Can't put up with that shit anymore. Trying to pass a bill on self-defense and break-ins, west part of Canada, but we're having mass immigration. Wow. Yeah, I hope you guys are able to pass that law for your self-defense. Jesus. Self-defense law.
Heavy chariots and 100,000 mail-clad soldiers, with provisions enough to carry them 1,000 li. The expenditure at home and at the front, including entertainment of guests, small items such as glue and paint, and some spent on chariots and armor, will reach the total of 1,000 ounces of silver per day. Such is the cost of raising an army of 100,000 men. When you engage in actual fighting, if victory is long in coming, then men's weapons will grow dull and their ardor will be damped. If you lay siege to a town, you will exhaust your strength. Again, if the campaign is protracted, the resources of the state will not be equal to the strain. Now, when your weapons are dulled, your ardor damped, your strength exhausted, and your treasure spent.
It just feels like there's an army here. Like, even if I did bash one of these fucking pieces of shit, there'd be like 20 more of these idiots who would pop out of nowhere. I need an army with me. Samuel Bell. But if someone broke in, I'd have over 10K in insurance from... Someone broke in, I have over 10K in insurance from a staff of my friend, but if they attack my cat or something... Yeah, it sounds retarded. You guys really need to pass that law for your self-defense so you can protect your property and your stuff. Because, yeah, I was watching this debate earlier, like, why do people, like, put a price on your self-defense? Like, it's a, oh my god, that's all fucking insane. Which is very rough. We're supposed to just let them hurt us. Well, I mean, it goes both ways, you know what I mean? If you're just supposed to let them hurt you, then I guess the logic goes both ways. Then you're just supposed to be able to hurt them. So if it's like mutual combat and it's just like, if it's legal for them to do what they do, then it's obviously legal. Even if they say it's not legal, it's like, hey man, I was just doing the same thing they were doing to me, and I thought that shit was legal. I don't know, man. They need to really fix that shit. But can I have renter's insurance up to 10K? So cool, take my stuff out here. Well, I mean, it would still suck if they took all your shit. But yeah, it's nice if you do have insurance. I've never trusted insurance companies.
Other chieftains will spring up to take advantage of your extremity. Then no man, however wise, will be able to avert the consequences that must ensue. Thus, though we have heard of stupid haste in war, Cleverness has never been seen associated with long delays. There is no instance of a country having benefited from prolonged war. It is only one who is thoroughly acquainted with the evils of war that can thoroughly understand the profitable way of carrying it on. The skillful soldier does not raise a second levy, neither.
Well, I don't know. I just know that criminals are all deranged fucks, and they all want to get away with their crimes. So that's why I'm listening to The Art of War, so I can be prepared for all tactics. All tactics at any time. Happens a lot since I grew up in the country. People's tools will be taken from trucks, and they get new tools all the time. That's crazy. Yeah, it seems like vehicles are never safe. That's why I'm kind of glad I don't have a vehicle right now, because I don't have to worry about it getting broken into or stolen. My brother's vehicle has been stolen like 3 different times. My vehicle was never stolen, but that's because, mine was broken into once though. So yeah. Endless empathy for the, it's not for me, the script you have like, there's people screaming outside, like a woman screaming. Man, I think we need a fucking Punisher. Yeah, I heard like someone screaming, and then I thought I heard a gunshot. Wouldn't be surprised.
Are his supply wagons loaded more than twice? Bring war material with you from home, but forage on the enemy. Thus the army will have food enough for its needs. Poverty of the state exchequer causes an army to be maintained by contributions from a distance. Contributing to maintain an army at a distance causes the people to be impoverished. On the other hand, the proximity of an army causes prices to go up, and high prices cause the people's substance to be drained away. When their substance is drained away, the peasantry will be afflicted by...
Have a good night. I'm getting ready for bed too, kinda.
Heavy exactions. With this loss of substance and exhaustion of strength, the homes of the people will be stripped bare, and 3/10 of their income will be
smoke a little more.
While government expenses for broken chariots, worn-out horses, breastplates and helmets, bows and arrows, spears and shields, protective mantles, draft oxen and heavy wagons will amount to 4/10 of its total revenue. Hence, a wise general makes a point of foraging on the enemy. 1 cartload of the enemy's provisions is equivalent to 20 of one's own, and likewise, a single pickle from his provender is equal to 20 from one's own store. Now, in order to kill the enemy, our men must be roused to anger. That there may be advantage from defeating the enemy, they must have their rewards. Therefore, in chariot fighting, when 10 or more chariots have been taken, those should be rewarded who took the first. Our own flags should be substituted for those of the enemy, and the chariots mingled and used in conjunction with our own. The captured soldiers should be kindly treated and kept. This is called using the conquered foe to augment one's own strength. In war, then, let your great object be victory, not lengthy campaigns. Thus it may be known that the leader of armies is the arbiter of the people's fate, the man on whom it depends whether the nation shall be in peace or in peril. Chapter 3. Attack by Stratagem. Sun Tzu said, "In the practical art of war, the best thing of all is to take the enemy's country whole and intact. To shatter and destroy it is not so good. So too, it is better to recapture an army entire than to destroy it, to capture a regiment, a detachment, or a company entire than to destroy them. Hence, to fight and conquer in all your battles is not supreme excellence. Supreme excellence consists in breaking the enemy's resistance without fighting. Thus, the highest form of generalship is to balk the enemy's plans. The next best is to prevent the junction of the enemy's forces. The next, in order, is to attack the enemy's army in the field. And the worst policy of all is to besiege walled cities. The rule is not to besiege walled cities if it can possibly be avoided. The preparation of mantlets, movable shelters, and various implements of war will take up 3 whole months, and the piling up of mounds over against the walls will take 3 months more. The general, unable to control his irritation, will launch his men to the assault like swarming ants, with the result that 1/3 of his men are slain, while the town still remains untaken. Such are the disastrous effects of a siege. Therefore, the skilled leader subdues the enemy's troops without any fighting. He captures their cities without laying siege to them. He overthrows their kingdom without lengthy operations in the field. With his forces intact, he will dispute the mastery of the empire, and thus, without losing a man, his triumph will be complete. This is the method of attacking by stratagem. It is the rule in war. If our forces are 10 to the enemy's 1, to surround him. If 5 to 1, to attack him. If twice as numerous, to divide our army into 2. If equally matched, we can offer battle. If slightly inferior in numbers, we can avoid the enemy. If quite unequal in every way, we can flee from him. Hence, though an obstinate fight may be made by a small force, in the end, it must be captured by the larger force. Now, the general is the bulwark of the state. If the bulwark is complete at all points, the state will be strong. If the bulwark is defective, the state will be weak. There are 3 ways in which a ruler can bring misfortune upon his army. By commanding the army to advance or to retreat, being ignorant of the fact that it cannot obey. This is called hobbling the army. By attempting to govern an army in the same way as he administers a kingdom, being ignorant of the conditions which obtain in an army. This causes restlessness in the soldiers' minds. By employing the officers of his army without discrimination, through ignorance of the military principle of adaptation to circumstances. This shakes the confidence of the soldiers. But when the army is restless and distrustful, trouble is sure to come from the other feudal princes. This is simply bringing anarchy into the army and flinging victory away. Thus we may know that there are 5 essentials for victory. 1. He will win who knows when to fight and when not to fight. 2. He will win who knows how to handle both superior and inferior forces. 3. He will win whose army is animated by the same spirit throughout all its ranks. 4. He will win who, prepared himself, waits to take the enemy unprepared. 5. He will win who has military capacity and is not interfered with by the sovereign. Hence the saying, if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. If you know yourself, but not the enemy, for every victory gained, you will also suffer a defeat. If you know neither the enemy nor yourself, You will succumb in every battle. Chapter 4. Tactical Dispositions. Sun Tzu said, "The good fighters of old first put themselves beyond the possibility of defeat, and then waited for an opportunity of defeating the enemy." To secure ourselves against defeat lies in our own hands, but the opportunity of defeating the enemy is provided by the enemy himself. Thus, the good fighter is able to secure himself against defeat, but cannot make certain of defeating the enemy. Hence the saying, one may know how to conquer without being able to do it. Security against defeat implies defensive tactics. Ability to defeat the enemy means taking the offensive. Standing on the defensive indicates insufficient strength. Attacking a superabundance of strength. The general who is skilled in defense hides in the most secret recesses of the earth. He who is skilled in attack flashes forth from the topmost heights of heaven. Thus, on one hand, we have ability to protect ourselves. On the other, a victory that is complete. To see victory only when it is within the ken of the common herd is not the acme of excellence. Neither is it the acme of excellence if you fight and conquer, and the whole empire says, "Well done." To lift an autumn hair is no sign of great strength. To see the sun and moon is no sign of sharp sight. To hear the noise of thunder is no sign of a quick ear. What the ancients called a clever fighter is one who not only wins, but excels in winning with ease. Hence his victories bring him neither reputation for wisdom nor credit for courage. He wins his battles by making no mistakes. Making no mistakes is what establishes the certainty of victory, for it means conquering an enemy that is already defeated. Hence the skillful fighter puts himself into a position which makes defeat impossible, and does not miss the moment for defeating the enemy. Thus it is that in war the victorious strategist only seeks battle after the victory has been won, whereas he who is destined to defeat first fights and afterwards looks for victory. The consummate leader cultivates the moral law and strictly adheres to method and discipline. Thus it is in his power to control success. In respect of military method, we have, firstly, measurement. Secondly, estimation of quantity. Thirdly, calculation. Fourthly, balancing of chances. Fifthly, victory. Measurement owes its existence to earth. Estimation of quantity to measurement. Calculation to estimation of quantity. Balancing of chances to calculation. And victory to balancing of chances. A victorious army opposed to a routed one is as a pound's weight placed in a scale against a single grain. The onrush of a conquering force is like the bursting of pent-up waters into a chasm 1,000 fathoms deep. Chapter 5. Energy. Sun Tzu said, "The control of a large force is the same principle as the control of a few men. It is merely a question of dividing up their numbers. Fighting with a large army under your command is no wise different from fighting with a small one. It is merely a question of instituting signs and signals. To ensure that your whole host may withstand the brunt of the enemy's attack and remain unshaken, this is effected by maneuvers direct and indirect. Then the impact of your army may be like a grindstone dashed against an egg. This is effected by the science of weak points and strong. In all fighting, the direct method may be used for joining battle, but indirect methods will be needed in order to secure victory. Indirect tactics, efficiently applied, are inexhaustible as heaven and earth, unending as the flow of rivers and streams. Like the sun and moon, they end, but to begin anew. Like the 4 seasons, they pass away to return once more. There are not more than 5 musical notes, yet the combinations of these 5 give rise to more melodies than can ever be heard. There are not more than 5 primary colors: blue, yellow, red, white, black. Yet in combination, they produce more hues than can ever be seen. There are not more than 5 cardinal tastes: sour, acrid, salt, sweet, bitter. Yet combinations of them yield more flavors than can ever be tasted. In battles, there are not more than 2 methods of attack: the direct and the indirect. Yet these 2 in combination give rise to an endless series of maneuvers. The direct and the indirect lead on to each other in turn. It is like moving in a circle. You never come to an end. Who can exhaust the possibilities of their combination? The onset of troops is like the rush of a torrent which will even roll stones along in its course. The quality of decision is like the well-timed swoop of a falcon which enables it to strike and destroy its victim. Therefore, the good fighter will be terrible in his onset and prompt in his decision. Energy may be likened to the bending of a crossbow, decision to the releasing of a trigger. Amid the turmoil and tumult of battle, there may be seeming disorder, and yet no real disorder at all. Amid confusion and chaos, your array may be without head or tail, yet it will be proof against defeat. Simulated disorder postulates perfect discipline. Simulated fear postulates courage. Simulated weakness postulates strength. Hiding order between the cloak of disorder is simply a question of subdivision. Concealing courage under a show of timidity presupposes a fund of latent energy. Masking strength with weakness is to be effected by tactical dispositions. Thus, one who is skillful at keeping the enemy on the move maintains deceitful appearances according to which the enemy will act. He sacrifices something that the enemy may snatch at. By holding out baits, he keeps him on the march. Then, with a body of picked men, he lies in wait for him. The clever combatant looks to the effect of combined energy and does not require too much from individuals. Hence his ability to pick out the right men and utilize combined energy. When he utilizes combined energy, his fighting men become, as it were, like unto rolling logs or stones. For it is in the nature of a log or a stone to remain motionless on level ground, and to move when on a slope. If four-cornered, to come to a standstill, and if round-shaped, to go rolling down. Thus the energy developed by good fighting men is as the momentum of a round stone rolled down a mountain thousands of feet in height. So much on the subject of energy. Chapter 6. Weak points and strong. Sun Tzu said, "Whoever is first in the field and awaits the coming of the enemy will be fresh for the fight. Whoever is second in the field and has to hasten to battle will arrive exhausted." Therefore the clever combatant imposes his will on the enemy, but does not allow the enemy's will to be imposed on him. By holding out advantages to him, he can cause the enemy to approach of his own accord. Or, by inflicting damage, he can make it impossible for the enemy to draw near. If the enemy is taking his ease, he can harass him. If well supplied with food, he can starve him out. If quietly encamped, he can force him to move. Appear at points which the enemy must hasten to defend. March swiftly to places where you are not expected. An army may march great distances without distress if it marches through country where the enemy is not. You can be sure of succeeding in your attacks if you only attack places which are undefended. You can ensure the safety of your defense if you only hold positions that cannot be attacked. Hence, that general is skillful in attack whose opponent does not know what to defend. And he is skillful in defense whose opponent does not know what to attack. O divine art of subtlety and secrecy, through you we learn to be invisible, through you inaudible, and hence we can hold the enemy's fate in our hands. You may advance and be absolutely irresistible if you make for the enemy's weak points. You may retire and be safe for pursuit if your movements are more rapid than those of the enemy. If we wish to fight, the enemy can be forced to an engagement even though he be sheltered behind a high rampart and a deep ditch. All we need to do is attack some other place that he will be obliged to relieve. If we do not wish to fight, we can prevent the enemy from engaging us even though the lines of our encampment be merely traced out on the ground. All we need to do is to throw something odd and unaccountable in his way. By discovering the enemy's dispositions and remaining invisible ourselves, we can keep our forces concentrated while the enemy's must be divided. We can form a single united body while the enemy must split up into fractions. Hence, there will be a whole pitted against separate parts of a whole, which means that we shall be many to the enemy's few. And if we are able thus to attack an inferior force with a superior one, our opponents will be in dire straits. The spot where we intend to fight must not be made known, for then the enemy will have to prepare against a possible attack at several different points, and his forces being thus distributed in many directions, the numbers we shall have to face at any given point will be proportionately few. For should the enemy strengthen his van, he will weaken his rear. Should he strengthen his rear, he will weaken his van. Should he strengthen his left, he will weaken his right. Should he strengthen his right, he will weaken his left. If he sends reinforcements everywhere, he will everywhere be weak. Numerical weakness comes from having to prepare against possible attacks. Numerical strength from compelling our adversary to make these preparations against us. Knowing the place and the time of the coming battle, we may concentrate from the greatest distances in order to fight. But if neither time nor place be known, then the left wing will be impotent to succor the right equally impotent to succor the left, the van unable to relieve the rear, or the rear to support the van. How much more so if the furthest portions of the army are anything under 100 li apart, and even the nearest are separated by several li. Though according to my estimate, the soldiers away exceeded our own in number, that shall advantage them nothing in the matter of victory. I say then that victory can be achieved. Though the enemy be stronger in numbers, we may prevent him from fighting, scheme so as to discover his plans and the likelihood of their success, arouse him and learn the principle of his activity or inactivity, force him to reveal himself so as to find out his vulnerable spots. Carefully compare the opposing army with your own, so that you may know where strength is superabundant and where it is deficient. In making tactical dispositions, the highest pitch you can attain is to conceal them. Conceal your dispositions, and you will be safe from the prying of the subtlest spies, from the machinations of the wisest brains. How victory may be produced for them out of the enemy's own tactics, that is what the multitude cannot comprehend. All men can see the tactics whereby I conquer, but what none can see is the strategy out of which victory is evolved. Do not repeat the tactics which have gained you one victory, but let your methods be regulated by the infinite variety of circumstances. Military tactics are like unto water, for water in its natural course runs away from high places and hastens downwards. So in war, the way is to avoid what is strong and to strike at what is weak. Water shapes its course according to the nature of the ground over which it flows. The soldier works out his victory in relation to the foe whom he is facing. Therefore, just as water retains no constant shape, so in warfare there are no constant conditions. He who can modify his tactics in relation to his opponent and thereby succeed in winning may be called a heaven-born captain. The five elements, water, fire, wood, metal, earth, are not always equally predominant. The four seasons make way for each other in turn. There are short days and long. The moon has its periods of waning and waxing. Chapter 7, Maneuvering. Sun Tzu said, "In war, the general receives his commands from the sovereign. Having collected an army and concentrated his forces, he must blend and harmonize the different elements thereof before pitching his camp. After that comes tactical maneuvering, than which there is nothing more difficult. The difficulty of tactical maneuvering consists in turning the devious into the direct and misfortune into gain. Thus, to take a long and circuitous route after enticing the enemy out of the way, and those starting after him to contrive to reach the goal before him, shows knowledge of the artifice of deviation. Maneuvering with an army is advantageous, with an undisciplined multitude most dangerous. If you set a fully equipped army in march in order to snatch an advantage, the chances are that you will be too late. On the other hand, to detach a flying column for the purpose involves the sacrifice of its baggage and stores. Thus, if you order your men to roll up their buff coats and make forced marches without halting day or night, covering double the usual distance at a stretch, doing 100 li in order to wrest an advantage, the leaders of all your 3 divisions will fall into the hands of the enemy. The stronger men will be in front, the jaded ones will fall behind, and on this plan, only 1/10 of your army will reach its destination. If you march 50 li in order to outmaneuver the enemy, you will lose the leader of your 1st division, and only half your force will reach the goal. If you march 30 li with the same object, 2/3 of your army will arrive. You may take it then that an army without its baggage train is lost. Without provisions it is lost. Without bases of supply it is lost. We cannot enter into alliance until we are acquainted with the designs of our neighbors. We are not fit to lead an army on the march unless we are familiar with the face of the country, its mountains and forests, its pitfalls and precipices, its marshes and swamps. We shall be unable to turn natural advantage to account unless we make use of local guides. In war, practice dissimulation and you will succeed. Whether to concentrate or to divide your troops must be decided by circumstances.
You'll do this multiple times throughout the day. Drift and return. Forget and remember. Lose the thread and pick it up again.